You want to make that now? You try to get in the bed and points.
Okay, ready to go.
Technology's ready. Okay, I'm gonna call the order, the West Tampa Community Development Area Community Advisory Committee of January 20th at 5:40 p.m. at the Hillsborough Education Foundation at West Tampa, Florida, 33607. Okay, I call the meeting to order. Thanks for everyone here. We've had a long break since November. A lot of things have happened and transpired in West Tampa and around. And the first thing I need to do is have a roll call. Ms. Brenda, we can do a roll call. So we
Yes,
got four.
sir. Okay, as I call your name, just say here. Joseph Robinson,
Here,
Carlos Ramirez. Here. Michael Gracia. Janice Williams. Here. Bobby Wilson.
here,
Jeanette LaRussa Fenton. Here. Cynthia Maloney.
Bikini.
Delphine Jones. Here. Tina Young. Here. And David Alonia. Right? Chair, you have a quorum.
yeah. Do we have anyone online? Because Mike just texted me, said that he's online waiting. So, but I don't see him up there on the,
Where's the go?
there's something going on with the link.
Okay.
But is there anyone in the public that wants to speak? This will give you 3 minutes, state your name and who you here with. Is there anyone here for the public that wants 3 minutes to speak? Going once, two? Okay,
Oh, wait, there's someone. Yeah, just one.
okay.
I'm sorry.
Come on up.
Public comment, give it a mic. Give us your name. What you here for? There's a mic.
It's a night, Chair.
Yeah, you said
Speak
that
into
right
the
there.
microphone.
Okay, thank you.
That's what you good works.
Working turn on.
You hear me?
Yeah.
My name is Emily Walsh.
I'm on the board.
We're students at University of South Florida. Working on working on an interdisciplinary research team, trying to better understand how residents of Tampa feel about their water quality. We're here just to ask if you're interested in participating. We have a very brief survey on this clipboard. Takes no more than 5 minutes of your time. Everything's anonymous and confidential, unless you want to do a little follow-up part for a little interview, $25 gift card, but that's optional. If you'd be interested in participating, just please let us know. We have the hand clipboard. So,
Okay, I basically asked you about that, but you know, we have a tight schedule and a lot of people are scheduled. So what I would advise that either one, you send an email to do it, or just wait till at the end of the week and get to it. But I just want to take the time during the meeting. But as what said, we're letting you guys come and speak. So we got two people that really got more than 3 minutes, but I'm all.
we don't need all.
I mean, I used to be on split for a baseball, I'm very out about it, but I think a lot of people sometimes do surveys, they don't be privately. So let's do that either after the meeting, or you can send it to us, or really can make sure that we get a copy of it. That's okay with you ladies. And once again, you're with South Florida's research.
Yes, University of South Florida on the research team within the Department of Public Health, Department of
Okay.
Ecology. Yeah, it's funded by the Environmental Protection Agency, so it's part of a larger project, and all the information ultimately would go back to City of Tampa officials. We're trying to improve the water quality and let them know what residents think about their waters at by zip code.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So another thing, send a link, Brenda sent us a link where they could do the survey.
It's only on paper.
Okay, well, you can download the paper or send a PDF, because what happens is each person here represents an organization, and we have other people that are members of our neighborhood organization. So that would be another way that we could probably distribute it to them. So I'm just letting you know how you can.
Yeah, if anybody's interested, I could give you my business card and we'd be happy to come to whatever meeting you have. We'll just come to your resident, and we'll do it in person, just for the confidentiality and data collection. We have
I
to.
see. Okay, well, give it to Ms. Brenda, and we'll get it out. We'll go from there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else from the public that has something to speak for 3 minutes? Going once? Going twice? Okay, that's public comment. Can I, did everybody that's happened in November 18th, 2025 meeting minutes, if so, I would entertain a motion to approve, any changes? That before we do anything, a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? Motion by Mr. Bobby Wilson, was that a second by Janelle, or was that by Mr. Lawrence?
I mean.
By Mr. Fenton. Is there any discussions? Any changes? A little more comprehensive, exercise motions and stuff. Okay, if not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passed unanimously. All right, presentations and,
I'm sorry, Chair, I think
Yes.
motioned, I'm sorry, who motioned for that thing?
Oh,
Is that?
I will also make a motion. Jeanette seconded
Thank
the
you.
motion. It was unanimous. We have tonight, our campus finance, Tampa Police Department quarterly update, that we haven't had in a while, and I called this, because I got a couple of questions at my ear and my phone ringing off the hook about what's happening over here on the west side. And we have tonight Captain Dan College,
Yes, sir.
and then we have Lieutenant, it says Carlos Houston, but I don't think that's Carlos.
No,
But, so, ma'am, if you introduce yourself here with, Captain Dan College, and who you guys are, and give them a microphone so we can hear them. There you go. You got one you want.
My name is Lieutenant Christina Valley.
What was that?
Christina Valley.
You got that, Brenda, for the record?
Yeah, I do. Let me just set up blind you. Put that on for a moment. Yes, Christina, thank you.
Go ahead.
okay, so, yes, Dan College captain. My error was Lieutenant Houston. I confused meeting dates. But we got one even better. We got Lieutenant Gordon. So she's an evening ship commander, usually from about 2 in the afternoon to 1:30 in the morning. She's responsible for the entire district. So everything from South Tampa up to Hillsborough Avenue is her responsibility. She's our eyes and ears. She's the one that's actually doing the work. I'm more sitting in an office and fielding emails and phone calls, but she's the one that gets the job done when it comes down to it. So I asked her if she'd be here tonight just to kind of expose herself to this, and then if you had any concerns, she might be able to address them more accurately than I can. As far as crime goes, I looked at the data for the area. It's a little bit difficult for me to break it down to just the Western Hemisphere boundaries, so we break it into grids. Nothing really alarming. It's your standard crime data, your simple batteries, your trespassing, your domestics. What I am happy to report, and I'm not going, I don't have the exact number, but I have it pretty close. For the year, for my sector, right, it's basically Kennedy Boulevard up to Hillsborough, to Courtney Campbell, all the way to the river. Overall crime for 2025 is significantly reduced. It's been our best year yet. We had approximately 70 less crime victims of violent crime. And I want to say it's 328 less victims of property crime. So compared to 2024 was a record year, we beat that with 2025. Now the challenge is going to be 2026. We're up for it. We're going to work hard at it. And hopefully it's going to be 2025, make it even better for the residents. That said, what questions or concerns do you have?
Okay, I'll let you guys go first, but I got you. Anybody have any questions for the Tampa Police Department? Now is your chance, committee members. Well, y'all quiet, I can't do that. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get broke in. Here's, oh, I can see your hand down there. Okay, I got.
Friends on Main Street, that's tend to be the hot spot of issue.
Any trends on Main Street?
Yeah.
Yes. So we're doing better.
Positive, negative.
I think we're doing better for the positive. Obviously there were some issues with some of the franchises on West Main Street. But we've addressed that with both our uniform patrol and our plainclothes officers. There's always going to be something, like we can't get to zero. Like I know that's a very hard target. But as far as proactive enforcement, we've done very well. We know we still have room for improvement. But I think, and you guys tell me, but from what I see, and I don't drive by there all hours, but when I do drive by there, I have seen some changes. I've been here since July, August timeframe. I think we're doing better. I think I spoke with the manager of Publix that just opened recently. This is very good for them. They're not really experiencing any issues that they wouldn't experience at any other Publix. They've actually seen what I learned, that public stores are stocked differently depending on demand from the public. And what surprised this public in Publix is that what they prepared for and what they're actually seeing is better than what they anticipated. So I think that's good for the area. Did that answer your question, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Law?
Oh, I just want to say thanks. And also, what do you attribute this wonderful, drop in crime?
That's a great question. I don't know if I have an answer for you. I have a Dan college theory. I think it's just been, it's not overnight. It's something we've been working hard for several years, if not longer. And I think we took a really focused approach on violent crime. And also we're focused on 4, which is now focused on 5. So that's been going on since Lieutenant Gordy and I have been working here 19 years. We actually worked the zone together. So it's fun to come full circle, but so we realized roughly about 20 years ago that if you focus on certain crimes, there's a ripple effect to the other crimes. So if you focus on burglary, robberies, auto burglaries, and auto thefts, if you focus on those offenders, then that has a ripple effect on other crimes. And it's not something really tangible that you can see, but the data shows it. We also went after violent offenders where there's an attrition rate, right? So if there's 5 people who commit violent crimes and you focus on those people, you can put 4 or 5 of them in prison, that's going to have an effect as well. I think just over time, and the bigger thing is Chief Burkall's philosophy on community policing. I've been doing this 37 years. Community policing is nothing new, but it needs a refresher from time to time, right? Because we say it, but do you really practice it? And Chief Burkall, under his leadership, we've really gotten a good round turn on community policing and how important that is. Officers are assigned to a zone normally for a year. We bid every year by seniority. They can bid to a supervisor, they can bid to an area, they can bid to a time frame, a certain shift. But those officers, once they bid and they're assigned, that's their zone for the entire year. And they're encouraged to get to know the community, talk to people, know who your offenders are, know who the stakeholders are. And again, I work for a smaller department. Tampa's a big department, right? Roughly about 1,000 officers, 400,000 people in the city, plus we're really a small police department because we focus on smaller areas. The officer that's assigned to a zone is not worried about what happens up in Sulphur Springs. He or she's worried about what happens in West Tampa. And I think that's what we've gotten really good at is focusing on the smaller things. And when you focus on the smaller things, great things happen. I wish I had a better answer. I wish I had a more exact answer. I wish somebody would actually do a study, show what have we been doing right. I think we've been doing a lot of things right. But again, it's under Chief Burkall's leadership. It's the efforts of our plainclothes officers, our uniform officers, our detectives, our supervisors, our shift commanders. Like just the way this relationship works, if I see there's a problem or I'm alerted to a problem, I assign it to a shift commander, to a lieutenant. They address it with a sergeant or with a squad, and we just don't ignore it. We focus on it because we can't find everything ourselves. We need to hear from the community what their concerns are, because you and decide how you're policed. So you tell us what is important to you. And I use this analogy, and I know I'm rambling, but like there's some neighborhoods where, like on my street that I live, if the neighbor's dog runs out of the yard into my yard, it's not a problem. Like we know each other, we trust, we're not going to call the sheriff's office to report, a stray dog running at large, violation of county ordinance. But in some areas, that's not acceptable. So the deputy enforcing that in my neighborhood would not be received well because we're like, no, we don't have a problem with this. We enjoy it. The kids love the dogs. But another neighborhood, like, no, we won't tolerate this. We have an HOA, there's rules, there's county ordinance, and we want to enforce. So I use that analogy and it's simple, but it's in the end, the community decides how they want to be policed.
Okay, anyone else on this side, but go across the line? On the other side, anyone? Mr. Jones?
Just wanted to voice a complaint from a resident on Main Street that the business phone.
Okay.
It's probably not, I'm just making you aware, it's probably not anything you can fix. But, he feels like the city sort of been after him for its own situation. I know this is kind of off a little bit. And, they feel like sometimes it's intimidating, like on the weekends and stuff, because they're constantly like riding up and down Main Street focusing on them.
That place.
Yeah,
But you said.
and sometimes it's the guy that's in the sheriff, truck too, I know. Cause I noticed him a truck before. But anyway, I did, forward these complaints to, Mr. McGregor at the mayor's office.
Yes.
So I'm just making you aware of it. He said he was gonna come to meeting, but if he could get away, but I guess he couldn't.
Okay,
I'm their voice.
okay, what's your now?
I'm their voice, so when they tell me something, I'm gonna bring it here so everybody can know.
As you should. Thank you.
Okay, is that on that side? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up now, you know, I don't like wasting no time, but you know, I get everything, the good, the bad, I know the good, that, you know, for decades. One thing that, is somewhat occurring, and it's sort of like pop-up flash mass meetings. Up there, like they come and they go, you know, they do their flash mob meeting, they show up, they all up there, you know, they find it, not when you drive out there and smell, you know, marijuana, anytime you get it, you smell it, and how right, it's coming in with it, you know. So that's gonna happen, okay, I understand that, but some people may be concerned, some businesses may be concerned, but it ain't that many businesses up there at night, except for tattoo shopping. And one of the things that's been very successful is 21 for Six. That venue there has been pretty, because I ride down it and it do all night. I check stuff out, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. So, you know, so it's been pretty decent, but the flash thing, just be aware that they may be flashing back, but there's nothing you can do except when they get there. Y'all come over there, they come over do like special and it takes time to break you up, they get rowdy, because, you know, they can be on sidewalks. They know, these people know the law. Okay, and that liquor store knows the law, because we got that big sidewalk, they park there, sleep there, and y'all can do. So they don't ride it right. Now, they know the law probably better than y'all. But that's the one thing. The other thing is, that I called you in here for, is I've heard rumors. Okay, and I'm tired of the rumors on Facebook, and deals with the housing authority charges, okay? One is, the rumor is that Grove Finance has been robbed 3 times, at least 1 time. Is that true or not true?
Not that I'm aware of.
So y'all had no report that Grove Finance down here, that's on name, the first time you could be a place that we can have a financial transaction, like a little small bank, Grove Finance, they said it was robbed. Y'all saying there's no report about it ever being robbed.
I can't remember the last bank robbery we've had. The last one I remember was in Ybor, and that was over a year
Okay,
ago.
I want to get this myth over with, okay, some myth buster. So Grove Finance has now been robbed, you know, the rumor out there on Facebook and everywhere, and talk show, podcast.
It's been wrong.
Okay, it's been robbed, the police department don't have a report on that, what's the talk to
Are you saying
them?
it was wrong?
As soon as, right, yeah, so almost, yeah, as soon as they opened, there was somebody who walked in there and robbed them, but the camera followed this individual that walked into the property and she was arrested.
So, but that, how long ago was that?
Almost a year ago.
Probably a year ago, last year.
Okay, so, that's it.
Yeah,
Okay, so you
that's the only time I know.
all right, so the rumor is,
It's
it
not
was
a
robbed, originally open, but it hasn't opened. Huh?
It's a fact.
Huh?
It's a fact. It's not a rumor.
Okay, I got you, I just want that, on CPD, and he said they didn't know, but I didn't know it was. Okay, so we're unquailed out, and that it was robbed originally, but that's been, and it's probably part of the Memphis police and the style. They're telling me that in the properties that people get robbed in elevators, is that true? And y'all had any reports of people getting robbed in elevators, even Dave, and you might know.
I looked for the month of December. I didn't see anything. I went through the crime data from the area, but 5 pages about.
Look, because they say some people are moving out because of that, and we don't spend too much time knocking down the ghetto, project for shooting and killing real was going on. And the drop program that I was spilling checks and all the stuff they were doing, and clear that up. The brand new buildings, brought the seniors back, like all this beautiful stuff going on, all this nice stuff, the Ford art and all that. And then I'm hearing about people getting robbed in out there. I don't believe that. I tell you that cameras and spirit.
We can only speak to what's reported to
We
us.
want to report, so if it ain't
So
reported,
it's not reported.
you don't know. Okay. You know anything about that, Nate?
I think it was reported because the person was arrested.
Okay, so it did happen, but it's not. Yeah. Okay, I'm just saying, this is what people telling me, so I'm just giving you some good information. Now, The other thing is there was a murder over there. I knew you got that one. That was in the newspaper where a girl stayed in the restroom somewhere. And she came out, another girl stabbed the girl. The girl went to the hospital and died. And the other girl, I guess, was arrested. But that ain't on no report, no?
When was that?
That ain't been on 3 4 months ago.
Okay.
But that was a chestnut or something. I don't know. But she stabbed the girl multiple times. I mean, it was on y'all, it's on the street out there. It was a tenant. Huh?
Yeah.
On the street, right?
Yeah, it was on the street, but it was a tenant from West River Development. So that's the kind of stuff, see, that people, that was in the newspaper. That's how I mean.
Okay, and I understand that, but there's a lot that occurs in the city. So unless before the meeting, you can get with Brenda and ask me about specific crimes, I could do the research and bring back the data to the meeting, but like, just going from memory,
Okay.
one, I don't want to be inaccurate.
That's fine. I'm just going over this stuff. See, people be telling me stuff. See, I'm the best resource you got.
And
Come and check this out on the street.
it would help us.
But I'm not gonna be a lie. I don't want
No,
to,
no,
it would help corruption, not all that stuff y'all deal with, okay?
no, but it would help us if people provide.
I do, we just talked about this. I wasn't even say a word. But then when people said, moving out, yeah. And then the girl killed somebody, but that's just society type issues. The crime is down, not just, but because of what the twist is down, because the state attorney now will put you in jail and they will prosecute you. They're not playing around. That you go in jail, they ain't worried about all this, this and that. They gonna put you in jail and they prosecute you. And people seeing, oh, you going to jail, you getting time. So a lot of people on the street realize, hey, I don't need to be doing that crime. That's really something else that's
The
happening.
state attorney,
They ain't in no regard, though they going down, you gonna get prosecuted and we don't care who he is.
now, the state attorney's been very helpful.
It's very, okay, so we talked about the murder on Chestnut, I think it was. Now, here's the other thing you mentioned is that, I myself witnessed this, so that was published about every day, every other day, play my numbers, okay? Because I don't care, I'm gonna do that, I want to get published. So every publish, somebody will hit for me, somebody can hit. So I go down every day and I go get some little shrimp, my catfish, get my little steamed, stuff, so I get published a lot, and I like published down now. Now, I see some foolishness going on with some children, some kids, some people from the West River getting used to a new environment, because you gotta understand, this was a desert, a food desert. So now all of a sudden you can walk to a Publix, not just a grocery store, but the grocery store. They're putting in all grocery stores, shopping is a pleasure. So, these people are like, wow. You go in there and get your steamed crab legs, they're better than going to the fish market. Just don't take EBT cards at Publix, but, I don't think they do. Hey, nothing I see one. But so what I'm saying is that they were active, but when the kids, they leave the Blake, which we knew was gonna happen. They come over, they wanna get that, fill up the soda thing, many times you want, they got a little bit inside there. So they had some trouble opening up with some routing. So I asked the managers, all the, I think the 3 days, they all had the first same name, Jason, I think. So I talked to them, I'm the undercover boss. I go in and I check stuff out. And I asked them, I said, kids said, well, we had some problems, we had a little fight and something originally, like they said originally. But that has, this seats down, they done got used to it, and I see that CPD usually have a car there, and when you walk in, you got to stand right there when you walk in, right there on the front. Because there's been training that public to greet you, how you doing, welcome to public, they're doing all that, which I can't believe, on West Side, and they're greeting people, and they got plenty of cameras. And so, TPD there, so they're not holding back on having any security, TPD right there, the police car parked there, and mentioned know that they in there, and usually got it, they there. So, and there's a lot of miscrime. I just telling you that it was rowdy originally, but now the kids and I've been told, hey, look, don't be doing that rowdy, because you ain't gonna be coming back, they're gonna trespass you. So they learning, okay, but it was the wow factor. Wow, we got this brand, wow, we got this, wow, some people ain't doing the Publix, that's used to that. They used to going up there and selling a fortune at a corner store somewhere, where they sell it having the duck stuff in it, okay? So it's taking away the little mom and pop store nonsense, and it started cleaning up the store business around there, where we getting quality and good food, and the price thing is pretty reasonable. I want to get one free and all that. So I wanted to ask you that, because they asked me, and then the other thing I want to ask you before I let you go, is cameras. The CRA, the first cameras at all the intersections of Lane, Howard, Old Denny, Rome. Yeah, we spawned out into a while, we got there, because you know, there was back then, the boys and watching the cars and all that mess. So we got down there, and my question, and then we upgraded, because y'all didn't upgrade the software and all that, so we got a camera time. We have an initiative where we're gonna be looking at putting cameras. And I just want you guys to be aware and try to get you involved in the alleys. We got 2, 3 alleys up on Main, between Main and Green Street and between Union and Main, where we're looking at pilot programming, pilots in the alley, little street lights, and some lighting in, some pedestrian lighting with 13, 16 feet up, and possibly some cameras. So I just wanted to ask y'all about that. Y'all heard anything about us talking about? That's part of our community policing that we can fund, supplement, what y'all do with community policing. So if y'all, anybody, I know they got a deal with cameras, but have y'all thought about that? Does that help y'all, especially on the commercial side?
That's fantastic. So, all throughout the city, obviously, technology's increased significantly over the past several years. Some of the prices have actually gone down for the technology. And we really enjoy working with businesses, the CRAs and such, on the camera system. When I was in District 3, I worked with the Channel District as well. It's like, it's a great partnership. We can help with that. You know, we have a section in our department that deals specifically with cameras, but they're more the subject matter experts. Like, they'll know where to place a camera better than Dan Collins will know where to place a camera. Okay, what camera's competent.
Yeah, and we like that, and we know that you guys also, have to shop and shop responder thing and all that going on, and, blah, blah, blah. So I just want to thank you. There's first somebody trying to be in that front door. I'm gonna thank you guys, for showing up. I don't think you got any more questions. You clarified the dismiss the rumors, and for this meeting, for the rumors and all, you came, you showed up. So I guess we'll see the other quarter. When you do come in the quarter now, we would like to have you drill down to, you know what I'm saying? Drill down, like I say, that Main Street corridor is where we really interested in, and sort of feeding back into the neighborhood streets and alleys. Main Street, and over there by Oakhurst, I didn't mention that, but Oakhurst gonna calm down. They had a couple of girls over there. So, but Oakhurst calm down, we depend on Ms. Jones to determine, I believe, when they put a camera, we put a camera over there, and when, Big John Alabama niece, daughter got killed there, they went to playing high school, that camera caught the guy with the gun coming out the alley, and they saw the car. So I just wanna, thank you guys, and Ms. Jones seem to be wanting to say something.
Oh, I'm just trying to get the contracts and stuff.
Okay, did the call and call them, so you called them? Okay, anybody else? If not, thank you very much, and thank you, I wish that y'all get back working. Thank you. Okay, now let's move on here, next on the agenda is, Ms. Brenda, can we get this back on?
Yeah.
What I forgot to do is, because y'all had that off, I want to ask if anybody online, because I know Michael Randolph done text me, so, yeah.
No idea what that is. I'm trying to find our IT guy.
I mean, is Michael
He's
Randolph?
coming.
Huh?
He is, I see him on my,
But he ain't up here on the screen. So hold on.
hold on a moment.
Hold on, opportunities on people, can you get the tech?
Here, he's coming.
Can we get the technology, so we forgot to get the people online, the public comment? So if we can pull them up now, and then we'll get to the opportunities on people.
I think he's on.
If we on, I don't see him. Oh, that's the power.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, here's somebody.
I never know, but
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Is he gonna be on? I don't know.
He's not seeing my invitation, but says, you know, yeah.
So it's gonna be.
I don't think we have him on yet. He's
Okay.
sent the invitation.
We'll
so
have to
let's-
come back at the end, but we will keep trying to get it on.
Okay. Okay, so next week.
Let them- Okay, I mean, I like to, used to get everybody.
Can I have you?
Can you hear me? Mic check, check. Are we good?
Yeah.
All right, let's get on. We're gonna get back to Mike. Whoever's on, we'll try to get back to you. Listening, we're not advanced, we're gonna get back to you.
Yeah.
So then stay with us. We're gonna have now come up, spot the opportunity zone update for Mr. Tony Brown from Tampa Bay EDC. Give Mr. Brown the mic and welcome.
Thank you. Is it a presentation? No, it needs to be recharged again instead. That's literally what it
You're
is.
loud enough, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Good evening, I'm Tony Brown, I'm the Vice President of Community Development for the Tampa Bay Economic Development Council. And my colleague with me is Diego Pardo. He is a senior at USF, and he's spending the year with me as we go through our fiscal year. So I've been invited to talk to you about opportunity zones. Presentation.
That's not really what I do.
It's right there. So that's to the bottom.
Class on the computer. Yep.
Google Slides, right there.
Slideshow.
Here we go. All right. I can advance it.
Yes.
Working.
Okay.
So I've been invited to talk to you about opportunity zones, and before I do that, just say a little bit about who we are. So the Tampa Bay Economic Development Council, we are a business economic development organization. We have a service contract with the city and the county to represent our area in the recruitment and attraction of businesses. And several years ago, when the Opportunity Zone program was created, I was brought in to build a capital attraction and business attraction program in our Opportunity Zone areas. And so I'm going to talk to you about that. The outline of the presentation is to share a little bit about what opportunity zones are and how they work. We're going to share some of the analysis that we've done on the opportunity zone areas that will qualify under 2.0. So under the big beautiful bill, the opportunity zone program became permanent. And so every 10 years, communities will be required to update the qualified or eligible qualified opportunity zone areas. And so I'm going to share with you what the partnership we've created with the city and the county to identify opportunity zones, present our recommendation to the governor, and the governor in turn does the selection, makes the nomination to the Department of Treasury, and that then becomes the designation for opportunity zones. So what are opportunity zones? Sort of highlighted, there's a lot of wording there, but you and I, we could create an opportunity fund. To create an opportunity fund, an investor must invest capital gains into an investment vehicle. And then that qualified opportunity fund, you may hear me use the words like QOF, QOZ, but then that qualified opportunity funds makes investments in economically distressed communities that have been designated and defined as an opportunity zone. The main difference between OZ 1.0 and QOZ 2.0 is pretty significant. One, the number of eligible census tracts have decreased by about 25%. The other important change is that investors now are required to do reporting. I wish I could tell you the magnitude of investments that were made in opportunity zones under 1.0. Because there has been no requirements for reporting, I can't tell you. There is a website, Novogradac gets voluntary information. I also know from my involvement with investors in the EDC that the downtown area, Water Street, Ybor City with Durham Shaw have used the program to attract investments in major projects. And so I'm going to share a little bit about, I won't go into much details other than if you ask me what are the differences between 1.0 and 2.0, but I thought I would focus more on what areas are eligible for opportunity zones and what can you use an opportunity zone investment for. So real quick, investors reinvest their capital gains into a qualified opportunity fund. And that's important. One of the reasons why large commercial banks didn't get involved in this program as opposed to new market tax credits is because large commercial banks, for the most part, don't have capital gains. New markets tax credits, low-income housing tax credits, those programs provide investors a right to offset their corporate income taxes. This one is very specialized. In order to create an opportunity fund, you have to invest in a capital gain. If I sold my business, I can put the capital gain into a fund. If I sold real estate, if I sold stock and had a capital gain, I could use that to invest in a qualified opportunity fund. That qualified opportunity fund then must make investments in designated qualified opportunity zone areas. Those areas are selected by the governor. They're limited to 25% of the eligible or potential census tracts. The governor's recommendation goes to the Department of Treasury. And then in this cycle, by the end of the year, Treasury would have determined with the governor's input, what are the opportunity zone areas for the state of Florida, and in our case, for Hillsborough County. As I mentioned, we're working closely with the city and the county to identify and analyze the potential 106 OZ tracts that would be eligible for equity investments. And by working in this, what we call this P3 public-private partnership, we hope that our list of recommended census tracts survive the governor's nomination and would indeed be so designated. My purpose here today is to share the program and to talk about the process that we welcome input from any of you for activities and investments that you feel would be attractive to equity investments. We know that the chairman has written the governor, and we have his census tract listed on our list of eligible census tracts that could be nominated for opportunity zones. So we are welcoming ideas and information, and I'll share a website in a moment where you can send me your information. So how are opportunity zones defined? They're defined by census tracts. They must meet specific economic distress criteria. I talked about the designation and the election process. The economically distressed criteria has been census tracts that are at or less than 70% of the area median income. And so, David, or those of you that have worked like the low-income housing tax credit, you know that low income is typically defined as 80%. So what the government has done is defined more restrictive those areas that aren't necessarily being targets of gentrification. And so I've identified areas that are 70% or less of area median income or have a 20% poverty rate, and then you could go up to 125% of area median income. And so from our analysis, we know that we have 106 census tracts that meet the definition of economically distressed. And so what you see is the difference in the mapping between QOZs that were designated under 1.0 and we say potential QOZs are 2.0. Potential is because we don't know what will eventually be nominated and what will eventually be designated. The biggest impact that we've seen in the change in the program is that the downtown core, you can see here, is no longer eligible under 2.0. So that'll be a big change. When we look at the 25% limitation of the eligible census tracts, the county has 335 census tracts, as I mentioned, 106. If there is a limit, and it's a statewide limit of 25%, we don't know if Governor DeSantis is going to limit each county to 25%, or if some counties will get more while others get less. We do know 10 years ago that Governor Scott was important that every county in the state had a census tract. And when we look at the percentage of tracts that were eligible under 1.0, it was at about 25%. So if it's 25% this year in the designations, that out of the 106 eligible tracts, we will be ranking about 26 of those census tracts for investments in Hillsborough County. And so your knowledge of projects that could attract equity, that could jumpstart jobs, home ownership, redevelopment is very important to us so that we can be on the front end of this and recommend the tracts that will optimize the attraction of equity for the benefit of our community. So how does this West Tampa CRA look? So this is the boundary of the West Tampa CRA. Under 1.0, you had 3 eligible census tracts, but only one was designated an opportunity zone. So you presently have 3, and you all probably recognize where some of the opportunities are here. So in our working relationship with the city, this is the type of analysis we're doing. This is what becomes important in your information to Brenda about where do you jumpstart redevelopment in West Tampa. You got a lot of great things happening. I serve on the board with David, so I know all the great things that the Housing Authority is doing. You have the West River expansion coming on the west end. You have a lot of great things that we ought to be ensuring that at least, if not all, but perhaps definitely more than one census tract that's eligible should become designated as an opportunity zone. And so why is that important? So what can you do with a qualified opportunity fund? You can buy and develop real estate. You can buy companies and develop companies. And in fact, one of the reasons why the Opportunity Zone program was created is that the federal government was hoping that it would be more of a capital attraction for business expansion as opposed to real estate. And so a lot of the changes that has occurred has been to encourage more investment into businesses. So here's our website. If you went to the Tampa Bay EDC website and you looked under the sub menu for EDC services, you'll come to a window that says Invest in Tampa, Invest in Opportunity Zones. Then you have a button where it says Capital Access Programs. You could complete that sheet. And you can tell me, give me the address, and we'll do a census tract designation and determine if it qualifies. And so that's the website that we're making available. We're going to retool it a little bit, but right now you can tell me by completing our capital access program registration that you know of a project or projects in an area. You have to give us the address so we can make sure that it is an eligible census tract so that we can then document the economic impact opportunity of what's happening in the area that you've nominated. I know I've kind of went through this quickly. The process, we have to move fast because the governor has to give his recommendation to Treasury by the end of June. In conversations with the state and Florida Commerce leading the review process is that they've asked us for our list no later than the end of March. And then from that process, by the end of March, when we give our recommendations to the state, then the governor has a short window, less than 90 days, to make their recommendations statewide to the Department of Treasury, who then has by the end of the month to validate the nominations and then to federally designate the census tracts. So all of this and the final list of tracts will be determined by the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that was somebody joining.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to do the presentation quickly. I don't mind going back to the slide, but I just wanted to give a primer of what opportunity zones are so that we are all on the same page. But what's most important is this time around, we're hoping to take the process from the bottom up. I was involved with Florida government in the designation of opportunity zones. I had the pleasure of being on I call it the kitchen cabinet committee for Senator Turnstock when the program was first created. And so I've been involved in the program since its inception. So I do know 10 years ago, it was from the top down. Not many communities were aware of opportunity zones. Brenda's heard me say that Tampa's done a wonderful job because most of your opportunity zones do overlap with the CRA. And I think that's important to be able to twin incentives with a private equity program. But we're taking a different approach this time around and trying to make sure that we get the right designation, since there is a 25% cap, that we are identifying the areas that can, remember that, to attract private equity. So the projects that you would recommend to us should be those projects that will attract private equity. Whatever program or program ideas that you're involved with that could be beneficial to the attraction of equity.
Right, with that said, first of all, it's house cleaning. We do not allow anybody to come here without a handout to everybody in here. Second, any presentation that you gave, you must have it sent to Ms. Brenda so she can give it to us. That PowerPoint needs to be given to us because of public record, and we need to get it in there. So can you get that to Ms. Brenda?
Ms. Brenda has it?
He already did this afternoon. I just was en route, so I'll get it to you.
Send us this PowerPoint.
Yeah, and one of the cheat sheet was passed around.
Yes.
Right here, you can explain what this is.
There's
Something in front of you.
I ain't worried about that. I want the PowerPoint.
Okay, I can give you extra
I ain't worried
copies.
about that cheat sheet. Well, let me just say this, but I'm the one that's pushing this because we got treated like dirt on the first round. Now, I lobbied with Trump and the boys to have round two, okay, to cut out the nonsense and get it down to the bottom down there. They went more rural. And so we jumped on it and said, the city said, we ain't waiting on the city. That letter I sent up there, that was before, right at the break in November, was responsible. Actually, I put the letter on the governor's site. They got back with me in 2 days and said, and called. Left, I still on my record, Mr. Robinson, we need to talk to you about so the guy from the economic division up there, and I forget his name, I'm trying to find the email, call me, we talk. I bet he's up at the University of Iowa. I would make the cut. I said, okay, so we talked about Hawkeye, especially make one redrive that's bold out there. So I told him, I said, look, man, we want to subtract 44. Okay, 43 don't have enough opportunity. I don't even think they try to be up because they ain't slung black. Because the way these numbers rolling, they're using some of the old census data. And if you look at new data, it's based on income. That's why Channel Side and over there by Eagle Harbor ain't eligible, because them people got income of $100,000 on list. So there's some data translation. But I wouldn't go down on the data. 44 was eligible then and 44 now. 45, which is just on the other side of me, it come off because they done went up in income on the other side of me. They was out. They ain't do nothing with it. They should have tried to get the Wheeler House done, but they didn't. They wasted their time. But it's our time because we are slumming black. Main Street, the core of Main Street, where the majority of businesses, regardless of what ain't been dealt with no opportunities on, we will skip over. They did the housing authority, so they get all the West River, the wrong yard, the aftermath, all that up. Well, I'm tired. They don't need to be we need to be priority over them. Because they rolling, they're gonna get a couple more hotels and that over there, Spring Hill Hotel, what hotel they gonna get, and some stuff. But we need this opportunity on this side of Rome, period. That's my opinion. This side of Rome, all the way to Armenia, okay, and then south of the interstate up to Plymouth Drive. This track for the phone. Because that can also be where I stay. So,
Mr. Brown, an extra question.
yeah,
So if you get an opportunity zone designation for a census tract 43, 44.
no, 44, I'm
Oh,
not.
44, I couldn't remember what number you had.
Yeah.
So the census tract get designated. What are your ideas on how we raise equity? So that if your interest is Main Street or.
The West Campus Charlotte generates $9 million and will soon to be $12 million before we run out in 2043. We have a cash stream big than that. We got $30 million we ain't even put in the spent yet, sitting in a bank. So we have a cash flow with the CRA tip money, number one. Number two, we have investors that own some of these cigar factory buildings. We've got private investment in Census Tract 44 already. They're doing a boutique hotel down the street already on Howard Avenue. Okay? boutique hotel coming, just right by. We have a winery that's already spending their own money, no opportunity zone money, right on Albany and Cherry, okay, called a wine. They're spending a lot of money. That's one of the largest wine distributors of wine and kegs. They ship it on ships over here and they keg it. That's the new way to do wine. And a keg lasts longer than a bottle of the quart that leak the air. We've got cigar factory building down the street that the Cass brothers just brought. They sold the Blimp business, and Spencer Cass and them now own the building right up here, the cigar factory building right on Beach Street in Howard. They also own the cigar factory up there by St. Joseph something on Howard. Okay, the name a few. So, you know,
Can I repeat what you just said so we have it for our notes in the minutes? So the idea that I'm hearing that you say is, now remember I said that in order to capitalize a qualified opportunity fund, it has to be capital gains. And so a CRA making a direct investment into a qualified opportunity fund.
no, we won't be doing it.
But I want to, it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea.
Let me finish, because I'm tired of listening to y'all, because you ain't done that. That's why I wanted
That's
to.
why, that's why.
I went to the governor's office and talked to the man that will be making the decision, not y'all. All y'all are gonna do is say what the local people want, and I'm tired of this denying this black census tract, Hispanic census tract, to be on the list. Now, I'm just tell you that. So I don't have to call the governor, go up there. So I'm tired of hearing that. The city get an economic development commission, $400,000 to $500,000 a year to listen to us citizens a year. I don't see you down in city council. Okay, and Carson don't even want you to get a dime. And we on record, all this being recorded, man. This is a public meeting. So what I'm saying is, that's money that we can match with these big people that want capital gains. I got property at capital gains. I can sell houses around here and want to put my money in a capital gain. I may sell a fund. Okay, as a private person, a group of real people that want to put capital gains into that. So what I'm saying is, we have matching money. We know you can't put CRA money in a set-up opportunity zone.
Amen.
Okay, well,
that's the point.
Project.
The opportunity for the
So
CRA.
don't count us out, because you're trying to say, we got to have the opportunity zone, capital fund set up before we get an opportunity zone. Wrong. You get the opportunity zone designated, and then you market for private investors that want to invest capital gains money. So don't come here and tell us we got to go come up and identify some economic opportunity zone fund in order to get an opportunity. It don't work like that. We didn't get CRA, we had to get CRA designated before we could get the money coming in. So we got to get the opportunity zone designation, and we'll go find, I guarantee you, we will find private investors, people with millions of dollars or billions that want to invest in census tract party, because we are a hot commodity.
I want to make sure we got to know. So Mr. Robinson's idea is that CRA funds could be used to leverage or incentivize private investment for the redevelopment in the.
Say, I'm starting to Brown Big, I'm very passionate about this.
And I just want to make sure we.
But before we go further, let me go over here to the, I have to get mine out, I'm done talking.
So
Let me go, go ahead, Mr. Lunya, then, Mrs. Fenton, and then Bobby, Wilson.
All right. So Tony, I think my question lined up with what President is just saying. When I heard you presentation, are you saying that qualified opportunity fund, right, is coterminous with opportunity zone? But opportunity zone, you have to get opportunity zone before the fund is invested.
Mhm.
That's the way it was in 1.0.
It's still the same way.
But your presentation said the opposite.
Exactly.
That's it.
That was the question I was gonna ask.
I want to make sure I clarify with my presentation. So you guys are the first one we're presenting to, so.
Well, we gonna get straight for you. Trust me, man, you shut down.
What comes first, the fund or the designation of the zone? So if you want to take advantage of if you're motivated to take advantage of the tax incentives, you could create a fund tomorrow. You can create a fund tomorrow. Now, the question becomes, if you create a fund tomorrow, you will need to wait until the designation of the qualified opportunity zone, because the qualified opportunity fund can only invest in projects that have been designated an opportunity zone. So you have to do one or the other first, not necessarily if you had some benefactor that came in and say,
Do we have to do the investment? I mean, if we select it as a qualified opportunity zone, that becomes an investment in itself,
Correct.
right?
Right. It's another way to generate economic development
Correct.
in our area. It's like we have opportunity zone, CRA, we have overlay, we have the West Tampa business that we moved over to Rome, if they listen to us. So all of those things are incentives to get businesses and get development moving in a slum in that area. And we don't run out. East Tampa, Drew Park, and the other ones run out in 2034, they CRA are over unless they expand, right, Ms. Brenda? So I was, because I pushed a lot, tied us to downtown and Chandler side where West Tampa was extended to 2043. So we got another 17 years of a CRA that generate revenue coming from the private development that is already going on by the housing authority, on the stuff that do pay taxes, Rome Yard that do pay taxes, on the stuff south of the interstate that do pay taxes, and those funds will be coming back. Not only that, when we first started out, opportunity zones can be used for building schools. And we were told that by the consultant, because remember now, the city had an opportunity zone kickoff. They had a flyer that they gave everybody and invited everybody. They had a big meeting. And I actually got on the phone from Orlando, the consultant the city had on the call, on the Zoom or Team, whatever it was. Hey man, because I was thinking about Just and Stewart way back. And I said, well, and I knew there was an opportunity zone down in 43. And I said, well, can it be used for school? He said, yes. I said, well, that's an opportunity. So I went and told the superintendent and Fox and them that that's the way we could probably fund the schools. Okay, and that's something that died out. Okay, so you know, we don't want this sort of attitude about it. Well, listen, we don't take that. On the west side, we say this is what we want, and if the city ain't gonna get it, we're gonna go around. We're gonna call the government, because there's a lot of Republicans on this committee, and people around here ain't just gonna. So we know how to work the system, and we're saying that we want 44, and we want EDC to say, yeah. So let's get them people over there that's have a great CRA. We got the housing authority sitting here. We got all these community groups sitting here. And we know we still look at Main Street. And it's a shame before God that the most white building that's sitting there right. So, sir, I hear what you're saying, but it wasn't clear to me. It wasn't clear to David. It wasn't clear. So you explain it. So we're the type of people, we don't want to put the company for the horse. We want to say, we know we got an opportunity zone, and we know that it ain't even gonna start right away. See, matter of fact, both zones will still continue. The ones that are existing will die, I think, in another year or two, and then we will be coming on, if we're nominated, we'll be coming on and moving forward. Okay, so the ones that are already there still will be there, still have opportunity to get their little, fund going now. But, there's been zones downtown for hotels. Okay, so we don't want to say, well, we need to go, no, we don't need to go waste no time marketing something that we know ain't gonna be in our area. We need to get out of designation now. And once we get our designation and the government and Congress and everybody up there in DC get it, say, yeah, I guarantee you with Mr. Cass and a lot of these private people around here, that's trained over there, I guarantee you we can get some private funds going to set up all kind of opportunity zone accounts. Okay, but anyway, let me move on. I'm sorry. Just Nat and Mr. Wilson. Get a mic down. You got a
Well,
mic.
two questions, and both of them, I guess, are processing. Oh, sorry. We know the governor's going to make the ultimate decision, moving it up to the federal. Is the process to get to the governor that is it at the county level, municipalities, submit their requested sites? How is that? How are those sites being gathered, packaged?
so the process that we're managing with the city and the county is right now my vision is for us to submit one list. So you have the private sector being represented by the EDC, and then the city and the county working together through a process that, that we can recommend in some priority order of the number of census tracts that we would hope that that Florida Commerce would then send to the governor in order to then say that this is the list that came from the city, county, public-private coalition, and that we have a great chance of having more than 90% of our census tracts selected.
So is that in other words, who are the decision makers locally in that? Is it the mayor, the chair of the county commission, and then the EDC rep? I mean, who is making?
So we've asked that question internally, and the city and the county each have different processes. So if there is a decision that the county chair needs to sign a letter, that may have to go to the board of commissioners. If it's a matter of getting the mayor to sign a letter, then that's a process I believe that staff can manage, and Brenda probably can speak to that better than I. With the EDC, we have a board and an executive committee, and so our CEO would likely, at the very least, would get the recommendation from the executive committee. I'm making this presentation to our board this week. Members of our board include TICO, every major financial institution, every major developer in the county, and we're asking them also, same process that I'm presenting to you, we're asking them also to tell us what projects they're aware of that the designation will help in attracting attention.
But in other words, the mayor's gonna have her list. The county commission is gonna have their list. The private sector is gonna have, or EDC is gonna have their list. And at some point, that list has to be combined into one list that those three entities have to arrive at consensus on.
Yes, correct.
But this goes back to the point I was making before that, yes, we wrote the letter to the governor and that's wonderful, but how are we making sure that we're on the mayor's list?
You are, because I got the chairman's recommendation, we validated it and we put it on the list.
The census tract is on the mayor's list, so we're good there. Okay. And then it'll have to be massaged until it makes the final local list.
So, and you're asking the right question. So how did we take 106 eligible tracts and get it down to 26, right? Where the county is more interested in its unincorporated areas. And the city is, you can see where the city's interests are. We've already been told about Sulphur Springs and some other areas that don't have a CRA, but have development opportunities. And so I think the challenge for all of us is, and we've already asked this of the governor's office, will we be limited to the 25% cap? Because the 25% cap is statewide, it's not per county. And so if they tell us that, yes, you're limited to 25%, well, we know that's 26 census tracts. And so where the consensus for redevelopment is, and one of the things that I can say for sure, just in the meetings that we've had with the city and the county, it's been a very collaborative process. And so everyone is looking to make sure that we first identify those areas that's going to add to redevelopment, that's going to create jobs, that's going to provide workforce and affordable housing. And that even though we designate it, right, the other thing that we have to ensure is that it's going to attract equity. Because this is an equity program, it's not a loan program. And it's almost like the housing authority buying land and then applying for low-income housing tax credit, which generates equity, and they know how competitive that process is. So it's not so much just designating. We know that there are areas in need of economic stimulus, but is it going to attract private investment to take equity risks? And that becomes the qualifier.
My other question is, how does one go about creating a fund? What's that process?
So it's a legal entity. So first starts with Sundance. And then, a lawyer to do the documents to make sure that you're in compliant. Usually when I get a phone call, we refer them to 2 or 3 law firms. But it's just more or less setting up a corporate entity. And then having the rules and regulations that your investor finds comfortable. Because then after your rules and regulations don't probably be who you're attracting as an investor. Does the investor want in your rules and regulations? Or the investor want to sign off on investments? What is the criteria before they write a check to invest? So you can easily create a corporate entity, but then your bylaws, it's the LLC, your rules and regulations is going to probably be dictated by your investor.
So there's, I'm assuming, regulations that dictate how a fund has to operate. And then is it the treasury, then it all gets submitted, what, to treasury and
Well, I don't think the treasury gets involved in the minutia of the legal documents.
no, but I mean designation wise,
The designation of the census tract, treasury will determine where those are.
no, the fund.
The funds, legal documents will probably say that the money has to be in a designated opportunity zone. So you protect it, if I understand your question, right? So the rules of creating a fund that the investor wants to make sure that the sponsor of the fund, anyone in this room, that the sponsor of the fund knows where they can make investments, what qualifies as an investment, and what the reporting requirements are. Because if I give you my money, I don't want recapture. I don't want any issues related to the fact that you used my money and you bought property outside an opportunity zone. So those are all the things that get spelled out in the legal document, and that the comfort level that the investor would have with the sponsor of the fund to know that you know what you're doing, because they may not micromanage the disbursement of their dollars.
So it's I'll call it a self-proclaimed. In other words, as long, just like when you set up a corporate, as long as you proclaim, I am an enterprise zone fund and I go meet all these rules. I am now, nobody from Treasury has to designate me. I'm the fund as long as I meet all the rules.
You meet all the rules, and then you do your reporting. And if your reporting is an investment outside of a qualified zone, then you're in trouble.
Then y'all getting educated in that answer. All right, next, Ms. Barbara, Mr. Wilson, so we can move on. It was Ms. Wilson. Did anybody on this team? Okay, we're gonna go
I
find
just
this
had a
team.
quick question in regards to, like, go to like your slide where you have the website. And like you're asking us for like, the capital access program registration form. It seems like during your presentation, you were asking us for like potential projects. Or like, I think going back to Joe, like, hey, here's the idea. What is that Joe's idea will be uploaded into that form?
So we got Joe's idea.
Okay, but mainly you're looking for ideas of projects, but not specific projects.
That's, well, maybe both. Both. Let me say both. Okay, so we already know, right? I mean, we know West Tampa is a redevelopment priority area, not only for the city, but also for our organization as well. So it goes without saying that we're going to put all 3 of your eligible census tracts on the list. We know that there is major catalytic development happening, at least in 2 projects in 1 census tract, I believe. I think it will be 1 census tract. So now the question for you or this committee is how does that catalytic development that's occurring, how does it come up Main Street? How does it go down Howard or other places that are important to you? What's important to you? Should you have a fund that's doing single-family home ownership, right? You have, West Tampa has benefited from a lot of multifamily development in the 5 years that I've been here. But I think these are the things and the redevelopment priority that you probably already identified in your West Tampa CRA plan. And so the attraction of an investor might be one who is interested in seeing more home ownership and the creation of a fund for home ownership. It might be a Main Street fund where you use an opportunity fund to start a business, to support a business. I mean, that's the creativity. The only challenge is identifying an investor.
That ain't gonna be no problem.
So like, oh, wow.
All right. Next was Mrs. Tina Young and then Mrs. Williams.
So my question is along the line what Jeanette was asking. So when you get your, recommendations from the three entities, the city, county, your office, is it your office that's making the final recommendation to the Florida Commerce?
We know. But process we've established is that I call it the P3 coalition. So, our organization, city and county, we will go through a vetting process to say, how do we come up with a force rank of 26 census tracts? And then 30 or 40, and then we will set the city, the county, our investors, our lobbyists to the governor to say, this is the list that through a very open community engagement process that we came up with 26 census tracts. And we've already got the criteria from the governor's office as to what they're looking for, right? This governor is looking for development around ports, maritime prosperity zones, manufacturing, home ownership, redevelopment. So we already know the state's criteria in order to tell them how we came up with our priority list. And so, but it won't be Tony Brown alone making the decision. It'll be the representatives from the
I
city.
see, you don't open up Pandora's boxes. I'm a good listener, but I gotta chime in if I can.
Yes, sir.
Please send to Brenda that list that the governor done told you that he wanna see. Nobody know about that but you. So send that list to Miss Brenda of what the governor done told you, what type of projects that they looking for, so we can identify them. Now that we know that what they looking for, right?
Yep.
That's
And
a.
it's gonna be on their website too.
And we got time for that. We got you here. Okay, that's why we got you. God, we getting our folks from the $7 a year to help the city. We part of the city. So we're asking you to send us a little one page of whatever the governor sent you, the president, so she can give it to us. And we can, look at what we want on some projects. Cause I know millionaires and billionaires. See, that's what you don't know. I know a guy named Stephen Diggs is one of the biggest developers found that right there. Okay, and he really interested in coming into the city. But let's move on. All right, let's Tina, all up, Miss Tina, Janice, and then back to Miss, thank you, Miss Brown. You're doing good, man.
Historically, how favorable has the governor been to Tampa Bay as far as accepting recommendations from this area?
That, I can't answer that question because I don't know.
Okay.
I know that in terms of the governor's staff, this, Secretary Kelly has been in our office and has toured East Tampa and other projects. So they've been very responsive, to our organizational projects, but overall, I can't speak to that question.
Thank you.
Ms. Williams.
A lot of longtime residents here. And so my question to you is, my first question to you is, can an opportunity zone accelerate gentrification?
Short answer is yes.
Secondly, can a community benefits agreement, is that something that you think investors would be amenable to?
Repeat that part again.
A community benefits agreement?
So the new. So the question was, would an investor be open to a community benefits agreement? Paraphrase that correct. I would probably say it depends on the investor. There are many mission-driven investors, banks with CRAs that probably would have a requirement on the fund to invest in projects that are a benefit to the community. One of the questions that we had in our worksheet is, what is the community benefit? Are you creating jobs? Quality affordable housing? So we want to know, if the nomination of a project, what is the benefit to the community? The new rules under 2.0 is also requiring funds to report and to be able to report on what was the benefit to the community of the investment. Remember, there's been a major change. The major change is that they have purposely tried to separate areas that are attracting capital, like Water Street, areas like Ybor City that are major redevelopment areas where there has been that gentrification. To to make sure that this program is reaching other areas that the tax credit can incentivize the attraction of capital. So to your, short answer to your question is, community benefits and being able to report that has been the new major change in QLC 2.0.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about reporting, so you answered that question. The holding period is 10 years, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, based on this sheet here, does that mean it can be renewed every 10 years, up to 30 years? Is that what that means?
It actually means a couple of things. So the question was, the holding period is 10 years. So the 10-year requirement is that if I keep my investment in the fund for 10 years, and then I sell that investment and I get a capital gain, that subsequent capital gain is tax-free.
That's the key.
And that's the incentive, right? So I
100%.
I put my money in the fund, 100,000, it turns out into $1 million. That $900,000 gain is tax exempt if I keep it in there for 10 years. If I don't, then I lose that tax credit benefit.
And what's that up to 30 year thing? Can you explain that? It says step up to FNB.
So on a step basis. So if I have the investment and if I go beyond 30 years, the step up basis gives a benefit that if I subsequently sell my current investment, and I think there's 30 years, I get the step up basis, which basically means that in my initial capital gain, it is taxable that I put into the fund, but it's taxable at a reduced rate.
What's that gonna be, full market value?
Yes. And let me make sure I follow up on that question about 30 years, that's.
Okay, so I still need to know. I said, so year 11.
Mhm.
If I'm an investor and I maybe stay for 11 or 12 years, am I getting any tax benefit?
You can. I don't know the specific answer to that question, so let me just give you what I surmise. Most investors that stay in there for 10 years want the tax-free benefit. If I stay longer, it's probably because I don't necessarily need the money and I want my money to stay and to reinvest, but I need to follow up to say, what is the incentive for me to keep that investment longer than 10? I'd rather reinvest it into another fund. But I don't know the tax laws and benefits of being in there longer than 10.
Thank you.
Okay, Mrs., we're gonna bring this plane down. Mrs., you fine?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
To make an appointment with me. Any questions?
Okay, Ms. Jones?
It's a little confused. Did you make a statement that banks don't invest in opportunities, right?
I did make the statement, I said, and let me clarify, banks have been reluctant to invest in opportunity zones because on their balance sheet, you don't see a lot of capital gain. Some banks have invested in opportunity zones, but not to the magnitude that they've invested in low-income housing tax credits or new markets tax credits, because the tax credits offset ordinary income. In this program, the tax benefit offsets capital gains. And most commercial banks don't speculate in real estate or speculative investments, so they don't have capital gains. And that's why they haven't been the source of private equity.
So in other words, they don't want to read.
Well, you can say the risk or the fact that they just don't have the sources because the capital, to capitalize a qualified opportunity fund comes from your capital gains. Then I have provided proposals to banks that have private funds for private banking operations, where perhaps they can create a fund for their investors. And I know in having conversations with folks like Goldman Sachs and others, where they see the benefit of creating a fund for their investors. But conversations I have had with some commercial banks is that, have you thought about your private banking group creating a fund where investors might want to then put money and do the
Yeah, see, here's the deal. This is a real estate thing. This stuff. And I'm gonna shut up, but this is very important. That's why I want to stay on it. That's why you see corporations buying thousands of houses right now. Because each one of them houses is gonna be worth a lot more money in 10 years from now. So when they get ready, they set up a fund, they gonna invest. So they got all these houses, about 1,000 houses buying. That's why you can't find a house. But the corporation done bought them all up. We think the legislature's trying to stop that. The federal government trying to stop that. So they bought these houses and they got plenty of capital gains. They bought a house at 200,000, now it's gonna be worth 500,000, $1 million 10 years from now. They got a lot of capital gains in real estate, but that's one of your biggest appreciation values you can invest in just the banks. Now, the stock market, you take risk, but real estate return goes up probably 12% a year, okay? So they know that that's gonna happen. So then we're ready to cash out. We ain't paying no taxes on that acquired income, but we selling over there for 10 years. So it's real about real estate. But let me close with this. I was, I'm full disclosure in here. I just left over at HCC campus. And I think that this 25% that is an arbitrary rule. Okay, because the government say, well, this county didn't get it, that county didn't get it, so there's gonna be a lot of counties that ain't gonna have no opportunity zone. So then that opened up the ones that want to get more than 25%, get more than 25%, right? So I think that over there at HCC, with the map I seen, because one, they probably already got some opportunity zone account set up over there at HCC for the raise, for all that development. They can show what they want to do. They got the job, they got all that. And more. I just saw the presentation, I just over there talking about it, okay? So they got it going on because they got all that. Well, now we might be a little small there, we can't come up with, but we got some private development that done occurred in this since, let's give them a gap. Okay, so we may not be big, but we got a slum and black area. And we saying we was left out originally. We should have been part, there's no way, if you look at that map, and that's why I put that map with that letter. And set it up there, you see that map? This is that gentrification right there. You sitting there making everything blue, skipping over to dump the black folks were, and jumping over to the west side where the Hispanic folks were. That one, right? Should have made all three of them and quit playing with it. But they didn't. And the one on the left ain't eligible now. And the one over there at the right might not be eligible because all the adults they got, because they got a market rate over there. But we still sitting in a donut with, not in blue. So that's why, strong body, we don't get it, that's fine. We got a salary, we can still work. But one thing I learned in life, if you don't ask, you ain't gonna get. And because we persistent, it's like, hey, Mr. Brown said that the city's undecided, we're gonna put them on the list, but that don't mean we're gonna make the cut, Miss Fitz, when they get up there. That's why I'm looking from the government side, say, look, man, give us it now. They can make it get in there for the city and all that. Don't want it. They might go around the city and say, we want 44 anyway. I guarantee the government can do that, right, Mr. Brown? Okay, so we don't need to go through that process, yeah. If the government say make 44 a zone, it's done.
Yeah.
Right, Mr. Brown? Okay, let's move on. I thank Mr. Brown, let's go on to the agenda. We appreciate it, but we need that presentation, that was excellent. You did an
I
excellent
have
job.
it, and I will send it to y'all right after the
Excellent
meeting.
job, because I learned more than that myself.
Thank you so
I
much.
didn't know you had out my letters, I got that morning. Okay, moving right along, small business navigator, Tim Spearman, is he still here? He left.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you want to?
And get the mic, Spearman, and tell us about, small business navigator. I guess you got a website or something that you want to say.
I'll get you out here.
So for my presentation, it'll just be our public web pages, and then I'll make sure you have my direct contact. It'll be a compact presentation, but again, just going over. Yeah, you got it.
Microphone for you as well.
Thank you.
Just. That's 2 minutes.
Okay.
Save every month, right? Every month.
Nice to meet you. You put this on, okay?
That's the big thing now.
Thank you.
You got a month, you got him,
So, once again, my name is Tim Spearman. I'm a small business navigator for the city of Tampa. Just to give some history about the program, what I'll do in this presentation is the introductory economic summary from BLS about the area, at least up to December 2025. After that, just go through our program, some of the initiatives we're doing, economic opportunity for our department for the city of Tampa. And then also how you can either engage with me or how I can assist you in any Q&A that you have after. And so, as a matter of fact, make sure you have this information. You want all that information? You can just scroll down a second. So, again, we're just starting off with December. As you can see, for Hillsborough County, when it comes to average weekly wages, we're at 14.28 for weekly wages. What you see on the unemployment rates on the left side is the comparison between September of 24 and September of 25. With those differences in the unemployment rate, we do see an increase in the region in its entirety. We have seen some of this data across the nation due to, again, some of the economic fluctuations we've seen from either federal policies or how localities and regions have had to respond to them. And so with that, we are, again, targeting a series of programs or initiatives that the city has to make sure, as well as with the partnerships that we have with the EDC, to still encourage growth in the region. Could you please scroll down? And so even then, again, with the changes in employment, we've seen decrease over time with non-farm payrolls, but again, we're urban areas. So we assume that we have seen increases specifically when it comes to construction and education and health services for the most increase we've seen in the change over time. Of course, you may notice that through all the multiple construction projects we have in the region, especially considering the amount of FDOT funds we were able to receive to do a lot of infrastructure projects, as well as for what you may see for some of our corridors for travel. And so with that, could you scroll to the next page, please? And again, I've already shared all the links and everything that we'll go over today with Brenda. She'll be able to share with you after our meeting. And so with that, again, going through the CPI data in the top left-hand corner, two of the sticky points that we do have for the region is food and energy. Again, food across the nation, but especially for Florida, has been a big one. We've seen huge changes in our agricultural sector, whether it's due to employment in the sector or them adjusting to tariffs or what have you. We do see a bit of stickiness there in the amount of inflation we've experienced in this region as compared to the average for U.S. cities. We do see wage growth in many different areas. We do see a very large increase in individuals in the tech sector, as well as, again, in hospitals, insurance, and then business services, excuse me. And so with that, as you can see, with the average expenditures that we see, it's hovering around 72 to 75 thousand a year on an annual basis. That is broken down, of course, by the spending in each year. And if you could scroll down again. And then again, for the employer costs, we have seen a change when it comes to employer costs. We have seen a slight decrease again compared to the nation when it comes to those costs that we experience in Florida. But we do see in our specific ecosystem, the Tampa Bay region, we do have a lot of different workforce and economic development programs that also can contribute to our region, either decreasing those costs or provide more availability for employees. Again, when it comes to the general national trends of what the economy looks like, what our best case scenario for us is just ensure that we build a resilience in the community through strategically the programs that we have or through some of the initiatives that we try and have with our stakeholders in the community. And so from there, with that, just quick run through the summary. Again, this will be provided directly to you. I'm going to go to, could you go to the next tab, please? Our program,
Up here,
all the way, second tab from your left.
small business.
Yes.
Okay.
And so this program was started in 2023. It's a small business navigator program. Again, I'm not the original navigator. I just started this year. I'm a 1-year veteran with the city. With this program, again, I'm the liaison between the business community and the city of Tampa. So we provide guidance to all the resources we may have in our ecosystem. And so this may be grants, this may be access to capital, this may be events, this may be expos, no cost consulting, or some of the different programs and initiatives that the city is doing. But my role with the city is to specifically assess those companies that come to us for assistance and then guide them to the best resource that fits their need. And so we do this, again, whether it's on the ground, talking to local community groups where they are. I'm very accessible as a resource. You just got to give us time to plan out the presentation. Now, with that, I did want to address some of the things you spoke about today in the meeting as far as some of the resources that we do have available. And you'll all have links and everything to schedule with me. That's just the meeting request. So even if there's a local business that needs assistance, feel free to give them my contact and we'll make sure to assist them. We have actually already been canvassing West Tampa, specifically Howard, Armenia, and Albany, as well as West Main Street when it comes to seeing how they were impacted by the storms. But I'll tell you a little bit more about that program after I go through the main two. If you could please, the next tab to the right. Yes. And so we did recently launch our Tampa Entrepreneur Support Hub. And so with this hub, we're utilizing CDBG funding to provide assistance to micro enterprises and low to moderate income individuals based on the 2025 HUD census tracts. Of course, that'll change, but we'll ensure to keep all residents updated as well as individuals interested updated. With the requirements for the program, again, we're looking at micro enterprises, 1 to 5 employees, including the owner, where we can provide them specific strategic guidance paid for by the city of Tampa to give them specialized assistance through business consultants with the SBDC, as well as the Women's Business Center in Hyde Park. And so with that, we're really trying to strategically work with these entities, whether they provide services in general to the area or they're entrepreneurs just trying to get started themselves. We're trying to assist those companies in expanding what opportunities are around them. Another instance is our Startup Incubators program. Currently, we are in a second cohort of the Startup Incubator program where, again, for low to moderate income individuals, they are able to go through an 8-week cohort with the Women's Business Center, where they get specialized assistance and guidance and access to a $1,000 grant if they qualify. Again, we verify their income, the 80% LMI, and we're able to provide direct assistance to them to start that company or help them secure, maybe they want to secure a brick and mortar or secure equipment for their business, and we work with them there. There are other grants that are accessible throughout the year. I do keep a list of grants at least before their deadlines close or what have you, actively and live that we share with any business owners that participate with us in the program. So again, we're completely happy to share that information with you all. So with this specific program, now, and I can get back to the Campson portion, we are having different initiatives that we will roll out throughout the year, where we're specifically trying to tackle, and you can keep it on this page, resilience, specifically to environmental risk, flood risks, hurricanes, what have you. And so with that initiative, we surveyed businesses up and down Albany, Howard, Main Street, in Armenia, to see how they've been impacted by the storms and how the community was impacted at the time. So, for example, and let me make sure I get everything right. And we're aware of some of the other things that have been happening in the community, like unfortunately what happened with Lucky Tiger. The other, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. We saw that. I've been in contact with the owners. I spoke with them before. They have my cards and everything already. So it really sucks. They just got the place. Yeah, I'm sorry. But also low price grocery. So low price grocery store, we knew that they were a hub when it came to providing electricity to the community, because we had seen that they said that they had a line out the door of all the neighbors that lost their power, but somehow they were able to keep theirs. So even through here in stores like that, we were able to try and secure like solar powered battery stations that would be able to charge, so they wouldn't incur a lot of utility costs that they incurred over that time, providing that resource to the community. The sandwich shop off Armenia, we know that they're in a low-lying area. They experienced some flooding, so we wanted to provide them flood-proof storage so that they wouldn't lose out on their equipment or their inventory, which was a huge thing that impacted a lot of people, or just making sure they have access to our resource, like helping Barbecue King. He called us about a parking space in front of his business. So, you know, even the little things, we're trying to be here as a resource just to get all those questions answered. We've been keeping track of a lot of the different developments. So we know that there's a lot of major concerns, but at least through the initiatives we have in our office, we're going to be trying to address them in both West Tampa and Sulphur Springs. You will see me canvassing more throughout the coming months, again, to accept applications for those programs for resilience for the businesses, as well as just to get our information out there from my office, so that the local businesses have a point of contact in the city that they can at least get some information or guidance from. If you want me to come speak to any local groups, young entrepreneurs, community groups, entrepreneurs, what have you, business groups you may be interested in, again, we're already working directly with the CRA to work with the chamber. But again, we're just filling up the calendar for the year to make sure, you know, we address everyone's concern. So as far as like what I went over today, and I'm gonna make sure you all have my card before I leave. I would like to still make sure I address any questions, concerns, maybe that you have or what you want to see for local businesses in the area. Safe house? No?
Any question?
You can take mine. Yeah.
Well, I don't need it.
Oh, okay.
So just to be clear, you don't provide the direct business counseling. They go through the SBDC or the Women's Center for that level of.
Yeah, when it comes to direct consulting, yes.
Yeah.
What I am is a resource navigator. So I can tell you who the person is, what the resource is.
You're the referral.
How they can engage with it. Mm-hmm.
You're the central point of contact that then siphons them off for.
Yeah, think of me as just a primer for them for all the other resources they may be able to get, so that the conversation and communication that they have is a little bit easier. Because we know a main issue that people experience is like they don't know the question to ask when they get to the place. So we want to try and reduce that so they can actually utilize what they're trying to get. And
when they're getting their services now through SBDC or the Women's Center, what format does that take? Do they have to go there, or is it mostly Zoom, online, or how is that happening?
So the SBDC, they have a series of consultants that are able to work with you both in person in their office, or they do site assessments where they can come to you. They have done that in the past. Even for our program as a small business navigator, I'm happy to do a site assessment or do it on site with you. We've had persons with disabilities who want to be entrepreneurs where we have to go out and speak with them and everything. So we're happy to accommodate. But as far as the SBDC, yes, they do site visits, in-person consultations, as well as virtual. For the Women's Business Center, I think they do theirs through a series of workshops. The cohort that we have is available virtually, but they prefer in person just because it's a nice, learning environment, and it's always good to get a lot of entrepreneurs in the room to share ideas. And so those are the methods of engagement that they have there. But if that changes, we'll let you know in advance. Now, as far as, again, the services, yes, we contract with these partners to provide those services, just like Tony said, with the EDC, they're contracted with the city to provide the services they provide to the community.
I'm going to put you in touch with someone at the West Tampa Chamber because,
No, just kidding.
What's that?
I said, Leo? No.
No, not. Thank you.
Mr. Looney.
Quick question for you. Are you well exposed that people know about your presence? And if so, what would you say in terms of people you go to the program? What has been the success rate since you've been here, 1 year?
Yeah.
So are you getting a lot of, people coming to you? If they don't know that you exist,
Yeah.
how would you be able to help?
Yeah, so the good thing is luckily I've been consulting in the community for a while. Previously, I worked in partnership with Hillsborough County for the Florida State Minority Supply Development Council. I was their consultant for the region, as well as representing minority-owned farms in North Florida. And so through that, I've been able to build a lot of strategic partnerships with those stakeholders where they know my name, they see me out in the community, they see me CDC of Tampa events, Tampa EDC events, local community groups, Empower Creatives for the smaller groups, the family centers for volunteers. So it hasn't been too hard to adjust. It's more so making sure that they recognize that the resource is coming from the city. Because we hear for so long, or at least I've heard in my experience, some of the issues that communities had with receiving resources or even just guidance from the city. So luckily through this program and through some of the initiatives that we have, and hopefully through my efforts, more and more recognition will come. But as far as success stories, we have had local businesses receive grants, whether it's the emergency grants that were provided by the Glacier Foundation, when they did their did 3 rounds, if I'm not mistaken, of funding for emergencies. We work with Career Source directly, where we've been able to provide at least one business. They utilize 6, 3 interns, 3 employees over a summer for one of the sub shops that we were able to work with. So they were able to increase our business. For the cohorts that we have for the Women's Business Center, the first cohort was about 26 entrepreneurs that were able to go through the startup program. 11 would have received grants. The next cohort we have that's going place now has 23, where we're having that increase in activity. So it's good. We're keeping that going. And then again, with my efforts, hearing the concerns, hearing the issues that we have for like Sulphur Springs, or even with Tampa, we can push out some of these programs to get more businesses either grant funding or funding for beautification and projects that actually assist their business, or at least again, makes them more resilient. So we're in constant communication, or at least we try to be, with the local interest groups, even with the newly formed Nebraska Street Business Group, right? That formed, I believe, in December. They had their first meeting. We're even in conversations with them about what types of projects they want to see up and down Nebraska, how they want to address some of the blight that they see in some of the parks, having conversations with the racetrack owner, or even again, making sure people push forward, getting the pool repaired, right? So we do understand the concern about seeing like the actual benefits on the ground, but I do guarantee people are receiving grants, people are getting assistance. I've had clients hire more employees because of our service. What I'm looking to do is just make sure West Tampa gets a piece of that.
Yep, Mr. Long, anyone else?
I just want to know, how do the community know about that you exist? How are you guys promoting the services for the city?
So I am in the community all the time in local business groups, even at example of AIM 2106. They've hosted in partnership with the CDC of Tampa, as well as the Tampa Bay Economic Development Group. They've had some meetings there, as well as Third Thursday and Fifth Third Bank. They host some of their events there. I think the next one this Thursday is going to have the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club and one of the other youth development groups. So we keep in touch with those initiatives that we have that's hosting the events in these different pockets or areas. And then again, through the partnerships that we work with the CRA team, we try and make sure our presence is there at different chamber events, meetings, CAC meetings, or just again, me doing direct outreach in the surveys and just canvassing. So I can guarantee, like, a lot of them have my card. They may not have called me, or if they do, it's about, again, the parking issue or Cohatch, right? When they first opened, we made sure they had our cards so that any entrepreneurs that came in the area, they immediately knew they had a resource to help them. So it encouraged them to stay at the Cohatch and, West Tampa. So we do recognize, like, and again, our team and our department's only 4 people, right? So we are stretched out there, but again, we're there.
Okay, that it? All right, let me just say this, I ain't nothing but that's, man, I put some everything that's good.
I didn't look at it.
That's what I like.
That's the reason that we don't and I don't. But see, we waiting on Rome Yard to build us a new facility with our workforce center, 3,900 square foot office over there. And then the city of Cities Tampa gonna be leasing from the West Tampa CDC, but we got to lease. Now, that's why we don't have that, team. They've been on the east side. And now they've been told that he's on the west side. Like he over here. So that's fine, because we sort of have a little different type of way over here. We sort of like got the chamber, people up here pretty much in business, I'm in business, people in business over here know what's going on. So we got our network. And I appreciate what you're doing, man. Where you originally from? You from North Florida, you said?
No, Tampa, graduated from Tech.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I appreciate what you're saying. If we, as a minority business, not small business, from day one, I really appreciate this navigation because it's been a challenge. Now, my question is to David. The housing authority used to have people that stayed there that were that could have their own businesses. Did that stop with the redevelopment of restaurant? That there's no longer businesses in there, like daycare centers or whatever?
No, we still have that. I mean, remember that we still ongoing with what's
I understand, but they,
well, that's gonna be on the commercial side and building a office building and a daycare.
okay, so the daycare is coming?
Yeah.
Got it. So what I'm saying is that just make sure that the housing authority has the largest amount of people that want to be entrepreneurs and startups.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think, I didn't hear you say, went over to the housing authority and had a presentation over at West River yet, to the residents, that that's what they can do, having worked with them and still work with them.
So
I'll make sure.
You know what I'm saying? In other words, they can call everybody and say, look, we're gonna have a meeting and we're gonna have, Mr. Spearman come over. And if you're interested in starting a business, you can come to that. And they got not thousands of people over there, eventually 3,000. And they come down and they ask you about a business or want to start. Same thing at Encore, the Mike Landolph. So I'm just saying, you might want to get these public housing new locations like Encore and West River. So I don't think y'all went there yet.
yeah, so well, it's a different method of engagement that we normally have with them because I normally work with their procurement offices to get like small.
Yeah, I understand.
So
Okay.
no, I'm happy to.
Okay, if like Mr. Long is making extend that offer to have a session like that, because a lot of times people they stay with, they don't want to be bothering nobody, they don't want to, they don't want to, but if it's a meeting call, they say, hey, y'all show up. You probably see a lot of people in there telling you, yeah, you're gonna start an entrepreneur, you wanna start a business, come and see the navigator to tell you about what the city is doing, because you're in the city, and the city of Tampa get housing thought they have to be $1 million a year. The last time I was known from CDBG, so they get a lot of money from the city, so it'd be nice if this navigation department hook up with these developments like, I'm not just speaking specifically about West River, Encore, and down the road with, Rovers Park. That's all I'm saying.
No,
Okay.
connect.
And so that way you can go to one spot and hit a bunch of people instead of all these things all over the place. But anyway, thank you for tonight. I appreciate what you're doing.
No, you got it.
Doing it. If you need anything from us, let us know.
Yeah,
So that's.
just help me fill out the calendar for the rest of the year, and then I'll reach out to you, for, getting on the calendar.
No, we got you. It's being recorded. Okay, that moves the salary plans, Ms. Brenda, roll it, so we can get out of here.
Okay, so now we move into our reports. So we have our projects report. I think I gave you the latest and greatest, but I do have some general updates that Nick Bennett gave me for today. And some good news, Celsius Park. You'll know ongoing work has been going on there, but the good news is there is a ribbon cutting tentatively, okay, I'm going to tentatively scheduled for late March, and they're looking at March 24th. So I know there was some issues, some folks talking about trees and things like that. I immediately talked to Tony Munch. The city has not accepted that. Those are not correct. So you'll see some switch outs on some of the, the vegetation there. Those aren't the right trees. So he said, don't worry, it's gonna be done right. But by the way, palm trees were in the original plan, the accepted plan, but those aren't the right ones.
So
He will come to y'all.
Let me correct it, because I talked to Tony, when he gave it away, so he told me they are the right palm trees. If the reason they look like they took pictures, but them trees are only in a location down in Manatee somewhere. They took the pictures of them, they put them on the truck, but they were damaged in the helmet. But all of those trees are checked to be good, meet specification requirements. So what's happening is they sort of like have a specification, and those trees are slightly smaller than the specification.
Right.
But they accept them because they don't know nowhere to be found. Those special trees, I grow a certain way, they're palm trees. I thought they was diseased with that palm tree disease, but they're not. Tony Monk told me that they were damaged in transit, and that what Brenda said, they ain't accepting them because they ain't no way they gonna let that go over there. So they're gonna have to replace them with new stock as soon as they can find that stock, and then get that stock here without being busted up. And that's why you see the bulbs just turn off, because they were broken during the transit. Got it? But go ahead.
So there's more to come, but good news is if y'all look on your list here, they're supposed to be completed in February. Okay, so there is a deadline, for the park, but there has been a date set with the mayor's office and with, his council, CRA board of late March for a ribbon cutting. So the thing is, there is a ribbon cutting, which will force the deadline. So anyway, that's coming up.
But not March 20.
They put on March 24th at 3 p.m. But again, it could change, but that's what they tentatively have kind of.
Has that been cleared with the Salfinas family?
I'm not sure. I will check. Yes, I will definitely check. So they're just, that happens sometimes. They start putting things on calendars. Let's look, is this date gonna work? But yes, absolutely. You'll have to be there. And so that's going on. Ray Park, the GMP is on the February 5th City Council agenda, and it will be followed by a notice to proceed in late February. A groundbreaking and demolition is not set yet, but they're looking at March of 26, expected completion by September 27th. So as y'all know, we have the same contractor. We have ribbon cutting for one part and then groundbreaking for the next part. So everything's kind of targeted for March, but I don't have an exact date for the March, but that's just, we're getting there. Yes, ma'am.
What did you say for Ray Park?
The Ray Park,
Wow.
we're talking about.
In February.
Yeah, February 5th is the GMP, that's the price. They have to go to city council with their final price, so there's a couple more steps they have to do with council. But the notice to proceed will happen right after that, and then we'll do a groundbreaking. So looks like the spring, we're gonna have some good stuff happening here. Okay, Fremont, I've not forgotten about this. Fremont Avenue grid reestablishment. Nick is gonna be coming to our next meeting, but right now they're pending the final scope and fee approval. And then, which will be followed by a notice to proceed. And there'll be a CAC introductions and presentation of the firm in February or March of 2026. Originally, Nick thought he could come tonight to tell you about this, but we're not quite ready, so we're targeting really next month, okay, for a presentation for the Fremont Avenue grid. And y'all know what you remember that project? That's opening up the 4 streets, Cherry, Pine, right? Okay, and this isn't on your project list, but it's on mine and B's. It's the Howard and Cypress property that we bought, remember? We've had a lot of inquiries from the community of what's happening, what's going on. So just so you'll know, right now, there's a Brownsville designation process that's underway. They have to look and make sure the property is clean. There's ongoing site preparation and the demolition of the buildings will be next, and that will happen. It's planned for February, so we're very close to being able to demolish the buildings. When that happens, I'll let you know, of course. It'll be a big dust bowl right on Cypress, but we're moving forward with that project. The next thing we're gonna do, I'm meeting with B, is to start to schedule some time with you guys to start talking, and the community as a whole, talk about visioning for that project and what that's gonna look like. So that's what I have for the project, from the projects team. Is there any questions I can bring back to them?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is this not updated, the sheet that you gave us?
This is the latest one we have. So it is, other than what I just shared with you. Okay, is there a question on something here?
What you were saying wasn't matching up with this, so I thought maybe I had.
Yeah, no, this is the dish. I'm giving you latest and greatest of the week.
Now, when you say visioning, does that mean nothing is set on what we're going to do with that property, or do we already know what we're going
Well, we know we're going to do housing, right? We're definitely gonna do housing, but we need to have community visioning. We talked about that as one of our
The
problems.
policy of CRA now is just like an example.
Mhm.
We're doing the visioning for the 2101 Main Street workshop for the Freedom Park on the 28th. 28th.
Yeah, skip to that.
This is one of the first ones that have to follow the rules. So whenever we buy any property, including that,
I understand, and I guess in my head, I understand what a visioning meeting for a park would look like. I just don't know what a visioning meeting for a housing project.
well, you might wanna have 20 solar panels, you might wanna have some.
So are we talking about like density or mixed use or all those things?
All of those. I mean, we could definitely, yeah.
It's just
So
like-
we want community input on that project. That's always been kind of our
So
process.
they got half of that alley too, right?
We do. We have half of the alley and the dentist on the corner is not theirs, obviously. So you got almost the whole block except for him, who's very interested in being part of the community visioning. So,
Mrs. Finn, were you done with this first one, Dennis?
No, my last,
Just hold on.
my last question, and I bring this up every month, is if we could get a schedule of all these projects, so we know kind of like the one, I know like the ones that we're looking for consultants, we don't have a schedule. But the ones that we do, we should have a schedule so we can kind of keep track of where we are. If we could get a copy of that, it doesn't even have to be a hard copy for our next meeting. If you could email all of us the schedule for active projects.
okay, so just a little clarity on that, because I've asked Melissa Martinez about that, and she says she puts the dates in on this tracker that she knows, okay, and it's been, is there something, give me something more of what you're looking for?
I would like to see the whole schedule.
For
telling
each
us
project?
where each benchmark is and what completion is. That way,
For
we
those
can
that
keep
have.
track of if we are slowing things down, if we're not on the original schedule. Putting one date on this table doesn't really do anything for us because they keep moving those dates. So we don't know how far behind we are on our projects. We have, for example, this Salinas Park. CRA approved that 2 years ago. So it's taken up 2 years to get to this place. I want to know what the original schedule said. Is it an 18-month schedule, a 12-month schedule? And why is it taking us so long? A little bit more, I guess, accountability so we can.
Okay, I will relay that over to Ms. Martinez because she monitors all of that, but definitely on the project.
To give me a call.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank
I'm
you.
happy to discuss that.
That Mr. Lee Lewis.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna come back over here, but Ms. Jones, I think
No, I just wanna know when the fence is gonna be put by, cause it's, I don't know if the wind.
The fence, oh yes, I got pictures of that last week.
Yeah.
The fence is an ASAP project. This is interesting. The old fence kept falling down. So we actually put in concrete, this would be concrete barrier, a stronger base to it basically. And it fell down again. So it's on, everyone knows about it. There was just a holiday yesterday. So hopefully that fence is gonna be up very, very shortly, but it is on.
One solution is get rid of the nonsense and just put some poles in the ground and put a temporary fence that everybody else do. Like they put around the cemetery over there off of, MLK and 22nd Street, western around. Just put a temporary construction fence that does not have, you gotta put weight on it, put concrete on it, there's a pole in the ground, we take the poles up and we finally know what we're gonna do. Right, Mr. Ramirez? So anyway, that's another solution, but anyway, that's not, they should probably spend as much labor and time going back and forth, putting it up there, when it's been put up there with poles in the ground, drill a hole, put a little concrete, put a little cheap fence traffic on it, and you're done. But you're horsing around with this thing, the same thing up there, it's just falling on you down, people crawling over it, knocking it over, putting it down, making food, but you know, it was what it is. Next, who's over here? Mrs. Jeanette and then Mrs. Maloney.
Just, I noticed that, and, I'm not sure at what point the two projects that we voted on not last month, last meeting, the implementation of the three projects from the parking study and then the Main Street beautification plan.
Wait a minute, you got your motion list you made up for you?
So I have a
Yeah,
motion.
no, thank you for the motion list, but those are projects.
Okay.
We made the
motion.
No, we,
Right.
thank you for the
Right,
motion list.
and they're aware, so.
But now those motions need to be put on the project list.
Yes, I met with I know we had a meeting about the Main Street. That one is going to be more formal. We actually have it there, but it's not hallway. What your motion was, which was, the
Yeah, just
beautification,
so long as they get
Right.
on the list, so we don't lose track of them.
right?
And while am I allowed to speak about the motions list while we're?
You brought it up and it's part relevant because I had to see, once a motion is done, we put completed on it.
Well, I'm getting to that. Wherever it is. I was just wondering, I guess I was thinking in my head it was gonna be more like a spreadsheet, but it's more of a word list and that's okay, but yeah, just some status designation on it.
Okay, that's fine. I wanted
Yeah.
to share what we, just
Yeah. No,
bringing them all together and as I build it.
Yes.
Let's talk about how you wanted that to look. I kind of put up all that under my manager report, but that's fine. Let's talk about that, if you'd like. I guess what happens is the project list. Is there any other questions about that? And again, next month I will have one of the project team members here that can address things, but if there's something that you want more information on, like Mr. Ramirez on the schedule or something else, let me know and I will relate.
Yeah, I just,
Yes, ma'am.
is there any, movement on the Bronze mural issue? Is that ever coming back?
No, that ain't coming back.
Thanks.
They ain't never gonna be no removal.
Because there is data to prove that
Yeah, but
it does calm traffic.
They don't care.
yeah, they ain't coming back, that's it.
Fortunately, no, I don't think that one is.
So maybe we could take it off the list, because
That's a good point.
It makes you mad.
Take it off.
Okay, so there's that. And then the other.
That's why it's highlighted, I think, yeah.
The other question I have is about the Cypress and Howard housing
Mhm.
development. Will the city come to this visioning session with any data on like number of units, number of bedrooms per unit? What type of, are they gonna be primarily for families or, I know it's workforce housing, correct? So like, what will, I mean, what people think they want and what the city would actually needs might be different. And since we don't have access to that data, it would be nice to have that at that meeting.
I will reserve all of that from Ms. B Parks, because she's the expert on that, but definitely we'll have to explore all of that. And obviously you have the zoning and you're gonna have certain restrictions that are gonna be in place, but let's save that thought, but I'll definitely write it down for her. Okay.
Okay, is that it, Ms. Malone? Okay, Anybody else? If not, where we at now? Are we on the step?
Well, the other ones are just the other standard reports that come out. We've got the grants program. Now, I might as well just skip ahead of this. The grant, all grants, okay, not all grants. Commercial grants, interior and exterior are open. Open, they're open for, they're accepting applications.
Be on the committee long.
They're open.
I know you might be on the committee long.
Yeah, the commercial,
Be on the committee long.
there's two things, commercial and, first of all, housing grants never stopped, okay, so they are active. So I put on your agenda that they're active. And I also gave y'all one page, I'm starting this little manager report, like my notes, so people can see what I know. But they're, yeah, they are.
Commercial interest grants to be in,
Right.
application is open, so if you got one, wanna get one, they will.
Correct.
Can you provide us a brief compendium of this commercial grant? What are the entail?
We got it online, they got the whole thing.
Yeah, there's something.
You go online, and they got it on there, everything on there, we don't break this down.
Okay, got it.
It's on there, it's extensive, and matter of fact, if they had a red or strike.
What is the limit in terms of?
Well, 75,000 interior, 75,000 exterior, is what I'm aware of.
Yeah, right, these are the standard grants, okay?
That don't come to us for approval. They're administrative approved, but I may be resigning in this one, but let's move on.
Yes, and just so you know, I've already, I provided all the information.
All right, now we're down to housing
Okay,
report.
housing is in there.
Now, my question is, when we gonna get room of rehab? Now, I don't answer that, going on 5 years. No. We got, I'm not doing in the past, when it was 2026. Find it, I'm lost. Now, what I'm saying is, okay, we need, I just saying for the record, I was told by Cedric that him and Ms. B are really serious looking at the rental rehab. Because I feel that rental rehab with a lot of wood frame trying that can be renovated a lot cheaper than building brand new. And supply housing for low income people, Section 8 people, because there is a backlog of at least 20,000-30,000. Okay, the housing authority can't meet that need, he can't meet that need. But some of these houses sitting empty, sitting around here trying, both laws going with liens and code enforcement, can be brought back and stop trying to take people's stuff. Work with owners, like myself and all, the one work and do right. Okay, so anyway, moving on. So that's the commercial grants. If you want that, you go online, you got all that, Ms. Falani.
Right,
I have
and
a question.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not on the, what is the deal with the city's position on ADUs? We haven't heard any, I heard, they were gonna come up with a plan. And that would be something that could address the housing problems that.
The state of Florida said enough of this. Everybody got a whole different thing about ADUs. Because I'm starting to get the legislative report, one, because I sit on another board and they get a consultant to tell us everything. And they're looking at, and if you watch the Florida update, they're looking at coming up with a statewide ADU statute. Meaning, forget use Tampa, this, everybody got all these different ADU. They're gonna come up with one that will be statewide and then it's gonna trump anybody local. Now, that's one thing that the legislators say they're looking at. As far as the city, I think it's still a work in progress, right, Carlos? I mean.
It's been a work in progress for a long time.
Long time.
Well, guess what? That ship ain't landed yet, that plane ain't landed yet. So it's still a work in progress. And when Ms. B and them come, we can ask about that. Because the housing thing. Okay, they got something, but it ain't something that. All right, now, so that's the housing thing.
okay. And the flyers for housing are all attached here. If y'all need more for your communities or anything, just let me know. I'll send you all the PDFs. I think I've done it before, but I'll do it again.
Okay, and now we're down to managers.
Okay, manager report. Okay, so I just made sure.
Sorry.
The income limits. I know these are all different programs, but two of them have the same numbers and one of them doesn't. Are these supposed to be different depending on which grant you go after?
The federal HUD and state income limits, this one? Well, this, yeah, there's a difference because one's 2025 and one's 2024.
Flyers are not okay.
So the last one's not updated, go on the federal HUD, under the down payment assistance of it. It's probably just because it just turned over. Sorry.
Sorry.
Bless you, bless you.
Anything else before we Good evening, man. Okay. Manager's report, Brother.
Okay, manager's report. So I decided to kind of have a one pager. If y'all like this, I'll continue to do it, but just to tell you what's happening. That I'm dealing with a lot of, and also just, and just getting some things on your calendars and with your group. So number one, we have a clean team, a brand new one. It's 4678 landscaping company, and the man who owns and operates it, his name's Michael Cobb. He was our low bidder that came when we did the bid for the program. Williams Landscaping had been doing it for a while, a couple of years. They did a great job. But Michael's doing a great job. He's out there. He started getting, gung ho on day one. He's even, started to, build relationships with the business owners and even some of the folks that like to hang out in the parking lot. He's managing that parking lot. He's even putting a trash can in there. So far, so good. I want you guys are eyes and ears though out there. Just so you know, we extended this contract, Mr. Lonia, to go all the way down to Nebraska. What they're doing, I'm sorry, North Boulevard. What I was thinking, not Nebraska, right that. No, it's the whole corridor. So it's the whole Main Street corridor. And of course, it goes from Union to Green, where you're between Armenia and, I think it's Rome, Oregon. And then where the housing authority is, we're just making sure there's no litter that starts to accumulate on the sidewalks. I mean, right now the housing authority does a pretty good job in there, but I always go by there, I see a cup here and that just drives us crazy. We're gonna keep it all clean. So he's doing a pretty good job so far. What I've seen, I want y'all to tell me if he's not. And what's that?
The days. Is it seven?
Every single day, you'll ask me for 365 days, and he is out there every day. Now, if he calls and says, Brenda, can I have Christmas off or something's going on? I mean, we will have some flexibility in that, but.
Yeah, here's my observation, okay? Here's my observation, on the street. He's added a hell of a lot clean and maintained right now, and rode down and looking left and right on these alleys. And these alleys ain't been this clean in decades. I mean, consistent, straight down, making vehicles not be there. Mattress man, that they are a lot better than whoever's doing it now. Cause I said, Miss Brenda, what you done did? I mean, we changed people and got a new broom, and sometimes new broom's pretty good. But the alley's done a hell of a lot better. And I can't wait to get the lights and the cameras in them down there with body and all that. Because we got something going on here. These alleys are maintaining, and that might be because we got cold weather and it's killing us going back, okay? And they use herbicide, but for some reason, when I ride down Main, every time all the way from Kennedy, I look both ways and I just see alleys where I can just see down. It was a matter of fact, there was right here by the post office between Union and Chestnut. And the guy dumped his white sand in the attic for him to do the building there. And when I rode by it this week, they done made him move that out the way so you can have access down that attic. So somebody around here, get your stuff and get them alleys clear. Because he had a big pile of sand like doing block. They made him move that sand pile and get that alley straight. So I just want to thank you, Ms. Brumman, that whatever you done to the alley, they look a lot cleaner to me consistently this time, not just like a stopgap. But we're gonna see when this rainy season starts and all that.
I mean, the alleys here off of Main Street or all the?
I go from Kennedy down.
So we have another contractor that's doing that.
Okay.
So we have Emerald, and remember, we were gonna let's let them do one time, and I kind of felt like we need once a year. So they just finished up Emerald. So there's two contracts. We've got Main Street being, okay? And then we've got Emerald Facility Management. And what they're doing is they're going through and doing 2 sweeps a year, like 2 major cleanings. They just finished up the first one in the fall. And they started last year. Last year, it was a little, it was overgrown for a long time. So it took them a little while to get going. Now they did it again. And then they'll have one more cleaning to do in April, okay? And then we have an option to extend them or not.
Do we have pictures of before and after?
Yes, they have pictures of before and after. And it's just like anything, like you're cleaning your house. Once you do it and you keep up with it, it stays clean, right?
but we can't, what's that?
And I've seen some alleys that have been overgrown and they are still overgrown.
They are, okay, tell me which ones. Tell me which ones, because they're constantly,
I'm gonna go
good,
I'm
thank
gonna
you.
go behind them today or tomorrow when it's like and document them, but. I
Well,
wanna
they've
make
already
sure,
finished this one billing, and I just got their literal invoice, we haven't paid
Because
them yet,
I've
and we
been
have to sit
waiting,
down.
last time we talked, they were north of 275. So I've
Correct.
been waiting for them to come south of 275.
Okay. Okay, so I need to know that, Carlos, please, you and I get together. Okay, so we've got that was my second.
Yeah, I can echo Joe, like, north 275, like, because I walk.
Can y'all email me where it's at?
No, I'm walking Howard. I can echo Joe that they're.
Oh, they're clean. Okay,
They're
you're
clean.
clean, but there's a couple ones that are still a little
Yeah, and-
impossible. You got
and
me too?
like-
Okay.
Our alleys don't go all the way to Howard. There's some that
Yeah.
are teeth.
Mhm.
So when you're walking up Howard, you won't see these alleyways. And they get overgrown and as much as I complain to my neighbors that they need to maintain
But
it,
you said that is a what?
overgrown.
No, you said they were T.
They're teeth,
What do
right?
you mean?
So they're
not
not,
passing
there's an
that
alley
way.
parallel to Howard. So
So
here's
there's
how,
there's no one way out
and there, it just goes in and then you have to make a left or a right
to get out there.
to get out of it.
I see, so it was right or left, it's not just straight through.
Right.
Are they vacated?
No,
No, okay.
one side of the T might be
Yeah.
vacated, but it's still.
Full access.
All right, so if y'all would, please
Yeah.
let me know which ones, and I'll definitely get with them.
Is there any comments on Brendan's management report? I think it needs to be.
That was
You
my
like
only
it?
comment was the alleyway, but I like this format.
Okay, try to keep it
So,
simple.
is that a-
But now, on top of that, just so I need y'all to really pay attention to these. These are 2 flyers on community engagement sessions. One's in January, which is next week, and one is in February. I've got extras back over there. Let's talk about the January one. I sent it, for the holiday. This is Freedom Park 2101. We're having it at Cohatch. They've been really wonderful about opening their. And so we have one on January 28th. It's on a Wednesday night from 6 to 8.
We're in it, Cohasset.
I'm assuming.
Right in the main, they have
But that Christmas tree lighting,
No, the
But
Christmas tree line was outside.
inside.
but
This is the
inside
main-
there.
Yeah, that main
Right
space.
inside that room,
Yes,
where they got that little bar, what was in there?
yeah, well, there's a big room in the
Yeah,
middle.
that room.
Yes.
Okay, so-
There's a-
I mean, I'm assuming that's where it's gonna be.
Right, so that'll be our first one. There is a survey here about, they want to get input, if people can't be there, tell them they can't make it or whatever, and they have an opportunity to give input. So we want to hear everyone's ideas about Freedom Park. That's a really important park on Main Street. The second one is on February 23rd. It's a Monday night, and we're doing the Community Redevelopment Plan community input session. Here, they also have a survey, and also they're incentivizing the survey by giving you a $50 gift card to a local restaurant or business. So to take the survey. So this is the other team that we have doing the community redevelopment plan. So I want to make sure I get them to y'all. I will send them to you. I don't know if I did before this meeting, but make sure you have them electronic so you can send them out to whoever you need to send them to your community. If you would like to see good participation. And then last, I did give y'all the newsletter from the fall. We have a newsletter here, packed with some information of what we've been doing all over Tampa CRA. So we're included in that. And let's see, what else did I want to share with y'all? Grants are open. We will be having a CAC orientation again. We always do that in March. I don't have the flyer yet, but I'll send it to you as soon as I get it. And that will be March 9th. That's a Monday night. We're going to do that one at Hannah.
Monday.
So March 9th, yes. So I'll send all this to you again. Maybe I'll call it the CAC community calendar so you can make sure you'll have all that information ready to go. Then again, if y'all have any interest or know anybody that wants a grant, I put on this form, where to go. They can go online to the website and request their consultation. Or they can pick up the phone and call the number here, Miss Mia
I'm gonna do it, and they're gonna tell them their announcement, I'll be a big.
Well, I'm gonna lead y'all to where they are and then we go from there. And then the last thing is a kind of the motion tracker. This is actually helpful for me too. So thank you,
so
Jeanette.
much.
I appreciate that. That.
Yes,
This is it's very helpful. Thank you.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
let's move on here.
Thank you. That's it.
Okay, old business. Old business. Old business. Okay, new business. Now, let me read these off. In new business,
Yeah, I want to share that thing, just a brief comment on the, update that I just presented to you.
some of that list.
Yeah,
So
so,
I'm gonna put that on the announcements, how about that?
okay,
But that's appropriate for announcements.
that's fine.
So there's no old business.
Yeah.
There's no new thing, but this needs to go on the record, this is part of the beat, so David, we're gonna need this to be part of the record. Dave, we're gonna have to take it. Yeah, okay, yeah, okay, I'll let him do it. Okay, all right, any old business? There's no old business. Any new business? A new business? Yes, this one.
Where is our next meeting?
Well, I was gonna ask Brenda when she's gonna make the list of all the meeting dates, so we can.
Right now, you're in this room.
Okay.
You're in this room.
Until-
I will let y'all know, we're having to get new equipment, because the room, the canopy doesn't have any audio visual at all, and it's a small room. So we're in the process.
We
of
haven't seen the difficulties tonight with what we get, so it's fine.
Correct. The only meeting, just so you know, I mean, I haven't told anything to the half that we don't say anything. No. Or we're considering, the only meeting that we do not, we have to move is in May, where we don't have this room. And so the idea was to go to Martin Luther King like we did last year. However, I've heard that that room may not be available because the Rome Yard's using it or somebody's using it. So that may be the month that we move to the canopy. I don't know. So I'll let y'all. But the schedule is the schedule. Nothing's changed until, we have to.
When we first started this, the CAC, you were meeting at the West Tampa Library. Is that complete?
I would love to, but they won't open the building past 5:30.
Okay.
So they're not evening, it's not an evening opportunity for us. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, with that, Mr. Longia, you want this back so you can,
I have no
You
mind.
have it, okay, and I'm gonna get this to Brenda.
No, don't do that yet, because it's just temporary, but what we are doing is to bring activities for, West River, Main Street. So all of our development has ground floor retail, and we have parks, open spaces.
Oh.
So we have engaged, Dash. And Dash is a certified, small business enterprise, MBE, event production and marketing agency in Tampa. So they do a lot of stuff. They actually perform Set Up by Christmas for Encore. That event, we do that every year. But right now, we are going through the process of finalizing this agreement with her. She has set up every month, there will be an event at the West River. It will be good to populate that on our website so that people will know. But I'll send it to you as soon as that is finalized. I don't want to go ahead and read all the stuff here. For example, February, they're gonna have a Black Law and Legacy movie night. And then Sunday, April, this is February. And then February, they have June, April 5th, Rejoice Easter Sunday in the fall. June 12th, Tampa Bay, June 10th, Festival. Friday, July 3rd, Freedom, Family and Food Fest. And then Saturday, July 25th, Back to School Bash. So all this is laid out throughout the month. And that's gonna sort of increase food step on the Main Street. And that will increase activity on West Tampa, which is what we're trying to do.
Right.
But as soon as we finalize,
Slides it, send it to me and I'll send it to everybody.
so disregard
Okay.
that because I realized that the print didn't come out yet, but I have it. Yeah, once I finalize that, I will send it to you. Right,
All right. Let me go through the list of this, this is since, November. We got a PD, rezoning, replace the surface ponds and underground stormwater storage chambers. 129, 130 Maxwell Place, where that is, and it's Sam Arrest is the person. And then I got one here from, rezone from Mario Smith, the other making at 1500 West LaSalle Street.
Yeah,
Aaron Tromata
yeah.
for a notice to file for rezoning. Got one here with, 1726 West Cypress. A application for alcoholic beverage, ABQ. Poland Rice, the applicant. And the agent is 1000 West Cash Street. Sent by Orlando Lundy and Martino. That was the agent, I guess, is in that envelope. We got a PD, the PD residential steering county is semi-detached at 2704 West Pelham Street. Application for rezoning. And we got a application for rezoning at 2549 West Cherry Street. Residential single family semi-detached PD to PD. We got 2334 West St. Louis Street and 2707 North Armenia Avenue. So that must be on the corner or something. RS 50 CI to propose zoning PD for storefront, residential, office, commercial, all CG uses. Then we got a petition for review at 2312 West Grace Street. Steve, with the applicant, and it's for a petition for review. Applicant name and
Right, Grace.
it doesn't do 2312 West Grace Street. Petition for review. The applicant is Steve McElhinney, represents the owner, yes. And my last one here is address of request at 1701 West Cash Street. They want a design section of DE-1, and the agent is Rockwell Investors at 1918 Cash Street.
What was the address of?
1701 West Cash Street. 33607 is where they want this to be. That's what I have on that. And another announcement is, I know that you see that road yards coming out the ground. So they don't roll over that. And then also, you'll see also the trailers, they put like 8 or 10 trailers behind Just. Skanska is now engaging into, they're removing that front even on Sunday, out of the old Just, I was watching. So they're getting ready to engage into the redevelopment, the reconstitution of Justin Stewart. They're gonna knock down Stewart, the old Blake. They're gonna knock down portions of Just, I understand. And then they're gonna create a brand new, somewhere around $75-80 million brand new pre-K, I heard, through 8th grade Just, you see them no more. And then they're gonna have Just Stewart, pre-K through 8th grade Just Stewart, the Stewart, I think, then 5th through 8th, and Just in pre-K through 4th, I guess, the way they do it. And then they're gonna make it, the gym will stay. The gym will stay, so we got something historical and it will be renovated. That's the part that Harry Howard's doing, and then the rest of the other 2 schools are being done by Blacksmith, which is now about another thing, some of it's all about. So I just want to report on that. So this thing about my position from 5 to 6 years ago was I want brand new, Christine. I'm getting brand new, not no nonsense, rebuild, secondhand nonsense. And I want all brand, I want pre-K, so maybe my granddaughter might do it, my daughter supposed to be able to be in this March. But they talking a lot of money, okay? They just got a room, furniture, all that. Man, I'm going to work with this nonsense. And so anyway, but that's something that I think when we get that, then we can bring the children back to the down in back to our neighborhoods, reestablish as a community where children will be available to walk to their school and they won't have to even leave the area. They can go there from pre-K, from cradle, all the way and walk over to Blake and graduate, you know, because the rate of graduation up to 90%, and I hope to be 100% by the time that's built. And we don't have to leave the area. So it will be an incentive to be here and to be in Westville, to be in West Tampa. So don't sell your property because it's coming. It's just taking me, sell gray half here, but I got half. So, you know, it's taking that long to just get this thing with long park over here where you're able to take your kids at maximum, imagine that $4 million brand new from the ground up and the street work around it. Brand new South Seas Park, brand new, opening up the streets. In fact, we'll be a community that's connected with the West River and everything else. Now, one,
Want to add,
yeah,
the students at Stewart will be over at Just starting Monday. They're moving, they started.
okay, Saturday, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
Did you get situated, you still there, you still,
I'm still floating and
okay, well, we don't let them get rid of it. All right, but anyway, here's the other thing that I did notice, and I'm sure. I'm a little upset here tonight about, you know, I believe in safety by design. I'm coming down Highland and I'm riding and I see a lot of purple. I see lights ain't on. So Joe Robinson strap on this 38 here, probably in another 2 weeks. And I'm finna walk as soon as it get dark. Okay, I'm riding my car, my truck. And I'm starting Kennedy and I'm gonna start coming down all the way down Howard. I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna make a list of every light pole number and I'm gonna make that list and I'm gonna give it to you, Miss Brenda. To get with Tito and so get out there and get the light on, get the purple light out or whatever it is, identify whether it's a purple light or whether it's a light ain't on and get a lit back up right here. 'Cause where criminals can be down by the house over there, the post office. The lights out, go to that post office right now, they out, they've been out for months, okay?
Have you
So,
reported it in or not?
no, you ain't gonna go out there like
Well,
me.
there's one on my street I've reported twice.
Twice, I was wondering.
Yeah, but I'm talking
They
about
haven't yet.
at the post office and around that area, I'm scared, I'm got a pistol, but I'm just saying, it's bad. And it's got now where I'm gonna do it myself, I did it once years ago, I'm finna walk it, and I'm gonna write down the poll numbers, and I'm gonna make a list up, and Ms. Brenda gonna make Tico get it straight, yes, Mrs. Ramirez?
In my experience from having issues with Tico,
Yeah.
now I go make a list and I give it straight to Miss Jan Washington.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Jane.
Yeah.
She will get it done.
Okay, well, I'm getting my.
Last month, so Janet is like the person. But give it to me, I'll give it to you.
It's not just the main street lights, it's the pedestrian light.
Right.
That, you know, the one up here been shot out. They're right, the decorative ones down. They get knocked out, and you know, they started to add those down mainly now. The housing started to do a beautiful job and stuff. So I'm just upset about that, because I like safety, I ain't worried about it. But I'm just worried about, I see a lot of people pushing strollers. I see a lot of people, new people coming into town, and we need to make sure that, you know, and I don't like that post office door being open 24 hours a day to them boxes. Okay, but people, no, that thing ain't locked. It's been locked in months. It's always open. People go in there and sleep. Yeah, they ain't getting like that in months. Okay, that's another thing. So that's all I got to report. Now, any other announcements besides Mr. before we adjourn?
Oh,
Mrs. Chairman.
I just have one announcement for anyone that might be interested. There is a place for, I hadn't heard of it until today, Chewy's Lounge. It's a jazz and cigar lounge. It is a little bit north. It is not in the CRA. It's on North 5908 North Armenia. anyway, there is a ribbon cutting. And so it'll be on February 6th. 4:30 is the reception, 5 o'clock is the ribbon cutting.
Is that north of?
It's a little north of Hillsborough. Yeah, and it's a jazz and cigar lounge, so it sounds, sounds very nice, so, and I think that's where, Vincent and Tampa relocated their operations there.
That's what I said now.
Yeah, so anyway, anyone that's interested,
Anything else, before I go to Ms. Jones?
pardon?
That's it on the
That's
announcement?
it, that's
Ms.
it.
Jones?
Would you repeat what you said about, like, you said they were burning the old Stewart, which was like, they want.
That's gonna be demolished, the whole place. But the gymnasium will be re-renovated. Harry Howard's doing that gym, but the Stewart will be knocked down. The old Blakely's Stewart will be knocked down. That's where they move the students over to the Chelsea. And then when they rebuild like the new Stewart, they'll move there and then go back to the Chelsea. But it's happening and it's funded. And they fixing stuff up. So, you know, that took a long time to convince everybody around here. New is better than old. Now, here's the other thing too that I will report to you that's sad about the West River Walk. And so that we went to the meeting at Mr. Vice Chair was there. And we were heard this big presentation and there's a hole in the wall. There's a gap. And related is that's the problem. Right there at the foot of the Kennedy Bridge, where related is gonna be that side with Channel 8. Related is responsible for doing that underpass and building that around. And ain't no guarantee it get built. It's not guaranteed. Carlos was there, he explained, but he's our representative on that. And I was like, what? I thought the thing was all in the box. Well, that part right there, that's a slick
There's
ribbon.
no guaranteeing when it's gonna be built. But if they want their CO, they have to build. That's part of their agreement.
But they told us that the schedule for that to be done is gonna be what, like the first of next
I
year?
think there's like a year gap.
Right, and then we're gonna have a gap there. We'll be done with all that stuff with West River, well, or River, whatever, on West River, and then that gap there could be there for a while. Cause part of the density thing.
Yeah, but I will say, because there was a gap, and in order to get the funding from the feds, they had to have a continuous route. That's why they added Rome from Columbus all the way down to.
Correct, and that's how we got wrong. So when you see Rome in 2 years from now, you ain't gonna know it. But what we seen that they showed us with the improvements that they gonna make on Rome Avenue,
Yes.
it is not gonna be the same. When you add, Rome Yards to that, Rome, and then they're talking about what they said they're gonna do down Light at the foot of the bridge at Rome and Columbus, was it a light? What they said, was that a light gonna go
They
there?
were saying a roundabout.
No, the roundabout, I think they said a light was going on.
Rome, and what?
Rome and Columbus Drive.
Oh, yeah.
They should say that's a light, they're talking about a light there. So, yeah, they're gonna put, they did like, they don't have to change that. Rome, that,
All the way to-
All the way, well, the part between Cypress and Kennedy is already approved. So it's going to be
no,
north of north of Cypress, sorry, north of CAC, all the way to Columbus, and then from Kennedy south, all the way to Latin.
so Rome is gonna be a really different place. I don't know, it used to be number train up down on. But anyway, in fact,
The lady had wanted to clarify something in the audience.
this lady got a name. And,
She was
and-
asking to.
I was just trying to get the.
well, here's one other thing, but this lady here got a name, it's Alice Moore,
Yes.
and let me just tell you about this Alice Moore.
Chili's.
This Alice Moore
She went
come over to the West River thing in Buell and say, Mr. Docs, I don't get no emails of this meeting, and I ain't bring it back this. I thought that when you signed that list coming in here, that we kept that list and we emailed out to those people about our meeting date. Now, I understand that ain't happened. Is that true, Mr. Dillon?
No, I do.
So, but you
This is the
got-
problem.
There's two lists. One come to us as a board member email list, the committee member list.
Yeah.
But it's also the, what we call the West Tampa list that over the years, we always collected emails and information so that we could send stuff out to people. So are we still doing that?
Can I clarify?
Yes,
You were meeting at the library. And I did.
We got you way back when.
Yes, yes.
yeah, but I've sent her email stuff myself. Okay,
Yeah, it was getting up for a long time. And then after, for some reason, it stopped. So, everything is still the same. So that's it. I haven't been, this is my first time coming here.
Okay.
But I was telling him, I normally get them and I don't know why they stopped.
Did
So
you
that's-
sign in again?
I did.
Thank
I did
you.
this time.
And so we do that, Ms. Brenda.
Yes, moving forward, I will do that.
And I got email, that's why I'm here today.
So did you get your answer, your question
No.
answered?
I think she said, did you say a menu for the jazz, cigar and jazz?
You wanted the address of the
No,
location?
I put down 5908,
Correct.
Armenia.
North Armenia,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, and see, but now I sent, you asked me for an email, but I want to, and just forward her, our package to her. So make sure that.
As long as I
email
know
now.
it.
Ms. Ms. Alice Mo, 7045@gmail.com.
Yeah.
That she get from now on, because she been around here since we've been meeting over there at the library, so so anyway, any other announcements for?
Chair, there is surveys from the girls from USF. Does anybody want to take them? Thank you. All right, got our cards too. Whoever would like to survey of that.
I was
Tap
at
one.
I was at the meeting when they first started out at,
This is about the
which one is that?
Do we get something back to her or?
But,
Do you want
what's
to
that?
see?
KCC.
We're having them.
No, you speak also now.
Yeah.
Okay. But when they first
So
started,
we just fill it out and
place the room is for.
Yeah,
I'll pick it up,
Later
yeah.
brought down
Yeah.
to the
That's
library.
what she wants.
And then it's just about.
back then, we didn't have all this social media. Yeah, right. Okay, well, if that, oh, the other, Ms. Brenda, you didn't make the other announcement that there is an opening on this committee.
Oh, yes, so Mr. Brosnan has, decided to take a break, and he, is recommending someone, but you see, anybody who wants to be, we're basically gonna have an at-large seat available. So,
Is that gonna be on
I
the
have-
website? Isn't that supposed to be put on the website?
it's on the website, I'll send it to y'all
What's the
again.
deadline for that?
There is no deadline, just get it into.
So if you know somebody.
If you know someone at large, now at large,
Go to city, they got to do, now here's the thing, I wanna get this straight, we had an issue with this, I had an issue with it. This background check, now you know you gotta get a background
Yeah.
check. Now, the check, see, I don't have, they give it background anything I want, Interpol, whatever they want, it's gonna come back no better time. So what I'm saying is that we have to get a background check, and we had a little misunderstanding about it, because I refused to have them take my digital signature, and they told me I refused to apply. No, I didn't. I didn't want to do a digital signature. You know, they're stealing people's stuff now. So I said if I could print it out, sign it, scan it, but they couldn't do that. So the city process is you must sign digitally and all that stuff they want you to do. And otherwise, it's gonna hold you up until such time as you do. So I'm just letting you know, so if you tell somebody, just tell them that you're gonna get a level, almost a level 1 background check. They go checking, they check me in 3 states at a time, okay? But it's no fingerprint, but they will check Interpol, FBI, city of Tampa, county locations for any kind of record on you that exists as negative, a criminal or something. So I just want to just let you know, so when you're recommending people, let them know they will be background check. Now, here's the other thing I want you to know as well. Okay? People that are going through this renewal process, the way this works, and I'm going to know this because I've had Morris Massey, when he was representing CRA, put this in writing. If you are on this committee, you are on this committee until you roll over and you ain't here no more on the face of the earth, or you get removed by the board, or you resign. And right. So if you on this committee and your term has expired, you are still able to come here and vote and participate until such time you are replaced or removed by the vote. Okay, so y'all remember that. So like Mr. Priscilla, he can be here participate now, even though he don't want to, until such time his replacement is made. That's city council. I'm going to tell you more.
Okay.
Because you expired.
You look good.
Yeah, like you have expired. Your term has expired. So that's why you got to expire. Or you may have to wait the crime and they want to kick you out again.
Look at
But
this.
if there's no other, Ms. Jones' announcement. What's the criteria for at large?
I'll tell you, you have to live, you have to work, or you have to own property in the CRA district.
Right.
You have to be in the boundary, so not anybody, but,
On property, have a business.
so you can live somewhere else, but if you work in the CRA, then you're eligible. But they really, you know.
You got on property, you should be eligible too, right?
Yeah, if you own property, yeah, you're vested, absolutely.
Okay, y'all got it?
Okay, got it,
All
thank
right,
you.
with that, with no more announcement, the next meeting is February 12th here, no, excuse me,
17.
it's 7:50 here at 5:30 PM. But
If you have any surveys, I'll take them on.
the meeting is adjourned at
I just didn't.
8:28.
It was.
Yeah. I think this is a long, nice sleep. And we don't have to maintenance, we never did. It's
The main.
Oh, I will.
Jim? Yeah. Okay, like, I drew a blank, but.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. We never did get any maintenance.
Mr. Michaels, he's there.
Still there.
Well, my,
You know what? You want to give him extra minutes next time?
right, we was right, we got Christmas with, can you hear me?
You can hear me.
Yeah.
I'm standing off.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Can you just tell him, apologize?
Hey, we keep let Mike know that we're gonna give him 6 minutes next week, next month.
Yeah, I'll do it right now. This is right
Because
now.
we got 6 minutes.
Okay, he's doing it. We're getting help for you. Yeah, I apologize.
Like, that was like,
He's had trouble getting on. I don't know why.
it's a new equipment.
Well, the equipment, yeah, we'll definitely.
What was that thing that kept going on? So,
So what that was,
we're gonna give him 6 minutes.
it was the, yeah, I just, I don't know, but what that painting was, that was the receiver to the microphone I had you use first. This didn't
It's
have,
bad.
no, it didn't have charge in it when I got here, so I had it charging pretty much the whole time while I was setting up.
So in the future, you're gonna make sure you got an extra one when we buy new equipment.
Well,
We got part of the equipment. We just don't have all.
I'm talking about this charger, come on, man.
well, with
Yeah,
the,
it's
with the
all-
equipment that we're looking at, we won't need these anymore.
Oh, really? So how do you pick up the sound?
It's all through the, what we're looking at. It's like this bar thing. It has, I don't think it's been bought yet, but
Talking about like the owl?
kind